for a reason. But the world ran out of heroes. So now, you roll with what you got. Kicking down doors with a holy grin. Silver tongues and a dozen sins. Wrong side of justice, right side of fate. No time to ask, we're already late. We ain't your chosen, we ain't your knight, but we shine damn bright when the world ignites. Hey, we roll for trouble, we play to win. Out of the sails and into the spin. We're taking chances, bending fate. The last bad call on heaven's slate. Roll for trouble, that's our cue. You want a miracle? We'll do. Hey. Knight lost his banner, but swings just fine. Rogue's got charm and a five-step crime. Druids growling and warlocks curse. Clerics smiling, which is the worst. Call us mad, call us last. But we hit back hard and we hit back fast. We roll for trouble, we play to win. Out of the sails and into the spin. We're taking chances, bending fate. The last bad call on heaven's slate. Roll for trouble, that's our cue. You want a miracle? We'll do. Hey, hey. When the odds look bad, we raise the stakes. When the gods say no, we're the brakes. When the plan goes south, we smile wide. Cause no one rides like the ones denied. We roll for trouble, we play to win. Out of the sails and into the spin. We're taking chances, bending fate. The last bad call on heaven's slate. Roll for trouble, that's our cue. You want a miracle? We'll do. Hey. Dungeon born, maybe one or two, but fate don't ask where it found you. Roll for trouble.
I just wait for it to go live on one of these things, and I just assume
fine.
it's.
That's fine.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Wednesdays. I hope the traffic was good to you. I hope like life is being good to you right now, wherever you're at, and you can settle in, do some lurking, just listen to us in the background, and have a great evening of Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, what? What's up, Chad? What?
Fix us. I don't look like Coco.
Oh, is it?
Actually, you do.
Apparently, I do.
Oh yeah, you're right. Look
Around
at
the
that.
around the
Changing
eyes.
characters.
While
But
we're
I'm not
doing
going to be
that, I'll
Feilani
go
tonight.
into the normal stuff. So there we are, as we're gonna play musical icons there. Yeah, we've got a lot going on this week. We're gonna still support 988 Mental Health and Suicide Awareness Channel. It's a good charity for some folks that are on either text or call. If you're in a dark place, they can reach some specialized counselors for you. So my pitch that always kind of goes is don't wait for your day to go completely into the void dark. Wait till it starts going blue, and then you can give these calls. That was cool transition. The snow blew through and all the cameras changed. That's professional. that was, I saw that. That was awesome. So thank you so much for everybody for watching. Jetman, you're always in here. Star, thanks for being in here. Judgy, thanks for the bits. Void, thanks for watching as well. Coco, you're already in chat, but thank you guys so much. Oh, and thanks for the donation. So we're gonna start out with one regular and one special for everybody in as a pool. Let's keep it as a pool. I like that. As a paladin, as a male in Lord Gazumba, if Jay's watching, I never get the specials. So I'm gonna keep it as a pool. So it goes towards everybody. And you guys can negotiate over it here. But yeah. We're gonna try to keep things in the community as well. So we'll raid out of this thing if you guys are watching, and we'll join one of our stream teams after this one. We'll kind of go around the horn real quick. I like the way Kurt did things yesterday in Alien. Just quickly tell us who you are and what your character is, and then we'll at the end we'll go through some pitches and what we got going on for the rest of the week. So we'll start out with Sir Cervantes, Phailani, then Silith, and in that order. So
Hey everybody, I'm Skylar with the other side of Stronghold. I am playing Sir Cervantes, the Twice Blessed. He is a human fighter.
Phailani.
Yes. I'm Cocobunny94. I'm playing Phailani, the warrior elf. She is a elf druid.
Chad.
Hey everyone, Chad here, Van Wickman. I'm playing Silas Trezal, Tiefling Cleric.
Ignatius / Jeremy.
I'm Jeremy. I'm playing Ignatius, the murderer.
That's all we're saying for right now. Super mysterious.
Murder.
And Brett.
And I am Brent. I am playing Brodegender Sanderson. I go by Brody, and I'm a broody warlock.
Thank you all.
And a drow broody warlock. Yeah.
Brooding Brody. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, let's pop back into this. The last session, you guys had departed the Drunken Duck, heading north in a dusty wagon train on your way to provide relief and aid to the north post Storm King's Thunder. Right, the giants went crazy and just beat up a lot of villages, and before that, the dragons were going wild. So a lot of these towns have been left to themselves, and good old Waterdeep has been pretty well protected. That being the case, they're moving supplies north through Leylon, which is about 2-3 days travel north of Waterdeep, to go to places like Phandalin and provide relief to Neverwinter in places like that. Neverwinter's probably like a Chicago up north or whatever. So they've got some good supplies, and maybe Neverwinter's doing their own thing. But the Waterdeep Organization for Relief, Supply, and Triage, also known as the Worst, is heading north to provide aid. As you guys traveled north, there was a mysterious carriage that was with you, and it broke contact, and it went to a keep called Thornhall about a day or so into the trip before you guys went into the Mare of Dead Men. As you entered the Mare of Dead Men, which is a huge swamp like the Okefenokee, but it's a little bit, probably a little cooler, not as muggy, but we did mention it's in the 80s, 90s in Faerun at this time because it's summer. It's weirdly always the climate that it is outside in the continental United States when we play this game. So don't overthink that one. So it's hot and muggy and lots of thunderstorms lately. But you guys went into the Mare of Dead Men. You guys were all in your various carriages, and this huge squall line of snow, thinking in your mind kind of like a sandstorm, like wave coming through, but it is like sparkling snowdrift blowing through a swamp, which is wild. So you guys heard the snapping and crackling and the waves of trees, like the waves are kind of pushing against you guys, and this huge, blizzard like blows through to the point where it like instantly puts a crisp layer of ice over the swamp. So you guys are on like this about 2 carriage width wooden planked roadway that goes through the Mare of Dead Men that the elves built, helping Lord Neverember a while back. Now, you guys did encounter some elves prior to. That goes into your notes and memories and your insights if you want to remember stuff, but you did run into a prince, maybe even 2 princes, that were like, hey, we're the Eldritch Knights, we got problems of our own, we're no longer protecting the Mare of Dead Men out. So to blast forward, you guys are in this snowstorm. The snowstorm kind of dies down a little bit. You start picking your way through this wooden plank road that's going directly through this big swamp. and you run into an overturned wagon. The overturned wagon had 3 or 4 bodies near it. Sir Pete Donnelly, Sir Dude himself, is leading. He's like an Order of the Gauntlet paladin, and he's kind of leading your guys' wagon train. He goes forward. A couple other folks go forward, and in these bodies, these very mysterious shadows start looming out of them. Combat breaks out. You guys did a fantastic job of fighting these things off, despite the fact that they're so powerful that Phailani got a little too close. One of them swiped you and drained your life force, and you fall over, deceased, even at level 1. Luckily, Sister Lady Gariel from the old Phandalin campaigns happened to be with you guys at the same time. She comes up, she slides forward, throws diamond dust over your body, does a prayer, revivifies you, brings you back to life. You're still afflicted by not being able to raise your strength, but you are very much alive. And then as the battle kind of got quiet, you guys notice that Pete was one of the first ones to die. And Vin, one of the Zentarum, had passed away as well, investigating this wagon. You guys, had a somber moment. You bring Dude back into your wagon. You start moving forward. You guys book it out of the swamp. The weather tempers a bit. It's still overcast. It feels cooler. It went from like 90 degrees out quickly to like 30 degrees. And then as the weather passed you 30, 40, 50, it's like 60. It's like a spring or fall, day now. The snow is like wet around you, but a good 3-4 inches, a good strong blizzard just blew through for one reason or another. You guys move through, and you get to a point where your guys are just completely exhausted post your mission. Everybody's real somber and quiet. And then Phailani, as you're sitting there looking at the fallen paladin laying, in state in the back of this wagon, a shadow just comes out of his chest, takes the form, a shadowy, dark form of the paladin. Very like 2D, but you see a shield and a sword and a helm, and goes forward to touch Lady Gariel. Same with you, Ignatius. You're in the back of this thing. Vin is there. The two folks that are working for this store called Minex, where they're bringing supplies to, and Silith, you're there as well. You see, just bursting quickly out of this body, another shadow looms forward and begins to lurch towards Jamna Gleamsilver, who is with you guys as well. And that's where we'll begin. We'll start with some initiative. We'll knock the dust off and begin what's going on here. You guys have the map in front of you. You can go to map mode there, Skylar, if you wish, and take it off. So go ahead, folks. Let's roll some initiative and play some Dungeons and Dragons. And as soon as you guys can, let me know who got above a 20. If nobody, that's super tight because the monsters did. Just kidding.
Oh, goody.
Anybody above 15? Ooh,
I got an 18. Holy shit.
18.
That's amazing for a cleric.
Yeah.
I rolled a
What'd you
19.
get?
I got an 18.
What'd you get, Brent?
I got a 21. Sorry, and my familiar got a 13.
Okay, so we'll go Brody, and then we'll go Silith. Anybody above? What did I say? That was 15. Anybody above 10? 10 and above.
11.
Lemon?
14.
What'd you get? Okay, then we'll go. Trying to remember names. Phailani, and then Cervantes, and then what'd you get, dear sweet Ignatius?
I rolled a 1, but because I'm a halfling, I can re-roll that, right? So I got
Yeah.
a 2, and that brings me to 6.
Oh. Oh,
Welcome to
not on
Wednesday.
How are you gonna do that on a Wednesday to Jeremy? Come on. Come on. All right, I got you, buddy. I'm not gonna kill you too bad. I'll give you a good TPK dream. So, Brody, you here, you're gonna have to, as you do this, I need you to give me um just a quick roll of insight. And I'm not gonna tax you on this. I just want to know what you roll. Because you guys are facing this direction, right?
Right.
And you guys are about to dismount. Okay.
Inside, I got a 19.
19? Okay.
I'm rolling
Fantastic.
too well. I'm rolling too well.
No, it's great. As lethal as these monsters are, I'm kind of okay with it because all it takes is a turn for a couple of you to make the wrong move, and we got a bad campaign. So Brody, you hear? I'm gonna say, Feilani, you notice this, and Silith, you notice this for your initiative as well. Feilani, do you let out a gasp or anything like that as you do this, fully well knowing that it could potentially turn this creature in your direction? What will you do as this comes out? Because this is going to predicate on your 19. Does that make sense? The kind of things you see.
Yeah, I will let out a gasp.
Okay.
Seeing that going for her.
So just to frame this, I'll say for Brody, it has been like, I don't want to say deathly quiet, but like it has been. Like folks have nothing funny to say right now as you guys are trying to unpackage what just happened, and you just out of nowhere are the first person to hear like, you know, or you hear a scuffle and just a, you know what I mean? That movement of surprise, you know what I mean? Like it hits you because things just like fall over and like, you heard someone spring. You turn around in your horse, like on your horse, and you see this thing up and over Lady Gariel. And what I'll say is the first thing of your insight that says is this person just brought someone back to life. You've never seen someone bring someone back to life before. So probably someone that you know what I mean? Like this thing is going after what takes from them. Right? Like they're after what you know what I mean? Like what's causing them problems. So
And I can clearly tell that this is the monster and not the.
yeah, you
the
turn
body.
around and you see
It
one
wasn't
of
like-
those shadows again.
Yeah, so I know it's
looming
shadow
really
and,
high.
it's not it's not, it doesn't resemble the former person. The person
It does
that
resemble the
is-
former
But I
person,
can tell
not
it's
in
not
color. Not in
right?
color. It is a very 2D. It's almost mocking. It's
Okay.
like it's a mocking kind of thing to entice, some sort of feeling.
Okay, so given that, then I definitely know that evil intent. I'm gonna Eldritch Blast it.
It is directly behind Lady Gary.
So I don't have an
Yeah.
angle then. Okay, then I will.
You have an angle. It's just
Oh, I do.
it's got, I'm gonna give it 3/4, you know what I mean? Like cover.
Can I want to get a better angle then. I'm going to wheel the horse around to the right of the wagon train, and then making sure to remain like at least 20 feet off away from the path. I'm gonna
I'll give it. You can move to the point of half cover.
Okay.
Without at your third, so you can move to 2+2 AC, right?
Okay,
And then
all
half
right.
this.
Yeah.
What was it?
all right, then I'll do that.
3/4 is what? Shit. And then roll to hit. There it is. +5.
Oh, jeez. I told you I was rolling too well. I rolled a natural 1.
Oh no. Okay.
Oh,
I'm going. So there's
Welcome
3
to
people
my
in the
world.
cart. There's Ding Dong Johnson. There's Lady Gariel, and there's Feilani. So I need you to roll a D6 for me.
God. A 1.
What did I say first? Ding dong. Okay, so go. Ron Don Raskins. Can't Don John Raskins. You're gonna go ahead and shoot.
Okay. That's 4 points of force damage.
Yep. So you're coming around. You're coming around on your horse. You know, you're steadying, and whatever you use to target, you're just like got him, bam, and you're. It's like a greenish look, right? For your Eldritch Blast, you said like it was almost like
Yeah,
a
like
poison.
sort of like a oozy type, like poison, like snake poison.
Yep. It's still force, so it comes out almost like a beam, right? So you're kind of
Right.
looking this greenish, venomous, whatever venom is for everybody to be awesome. It shoots a beam straight, and then Ron John Jaskin's like looking over, and he's seeing this, and whack hits him, and he just falls off the cart and lets go of the reins. Gariel reaches for the reins. She has no idea what's going on, and then she's kind of looking, over towards Feilani to see what's going on. That's your movement and your action. What else do you want to do?
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. There's and I'm just gonna point and yell, there's more of them. And that's my turn.
Okay, Silith, with your initiative, right? You can hear that, but you're also watching this thing reach for Jamna Gleamsilver, like next to you. It's just like it's coming out and like aiming. You're in melee of this thing because you're sitting right next to it. Like this thing can easily go this way.
Well, if I'm in melee, it's going to be hard to hit him with a firebolt. So
Yeah.
I guess I'm.
Just for Dungeons and Dragons, there's other things you can do for your action.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm gonna,
yeah. Just
I have a spear, so if I'm too close to hit it with magic, and I noticed from before that my fire wasn't very effective on it, so I would take my spear, grab my holy symbol with my other hand, and just try to plunge the spear into it.
okay. Going for a hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a 3 on the die, so that's well.
So you're standing next to it. You plunge a spear. The way it's like almost 2D in some cases. It looked like you had a good purchase, and then you just slides right behind it. You know what I mean? And this thing is getting ready to come down.
One of the biggest problems is I've been drained of strength, so my usual swing of this spear, it just
perfect.
felt 1,000 pounds. Like I was
And
like,
you remembered
"Oh,
that,
man."
and you remembered that, and used that against your melee.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that your strength is down. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, noted.
I'm also very
Okay.
beat up. Did we get a short rest while being
Nothing.
on these things?
Nothing.
I didn't
That's
think so.
yeah. So these things keep, you also, you know what I mean. From your passive insight, you know that these things keep arrive. You know what I mean, like keep coming. And that brings up as this thing gets ready to almost touch Gariel, Feilani, you're able to, come to your initial kind of spook, and you're ready to, you know what I mean? Like you start thinking, what would you like to do? Do you know where you're at on the map? Can we see you?
Yeah, I see me. I am going to hit it with my scimitar.
Okay. Oh, you're gonna move to melee.
Yeah.
Roger that.
I don't have anything ranged that won't hit anybody.
Okay.
Okay. That's an 8. I don't think that hits.
Yep. So, I mean, almost good news that you didn't get its attention. You know what I mean? Like you swing your scimitar. You might be just panic breathing based on these things just absolutely turning your life upside down as you're just trying to, you know what I mean, take your first adventure. The creature is going to make its attempt. Oh, everybody's rolling bad. So as the beam shoots over its head, Ding Dong Johnson falls out. I'm never gonna change his name. His name's just Ding Dong Johnson. Like I can't. So Ding
It
Dong
should be
falls
Ding
out.
Dong Johnson.
Yeah, and the creature
Exactly.
with a scimitar closely skimming over top of its head. It just, for some reason, you see it like flip and face you, Feilani. Like it changed direction, and then it flipped and went back to Gariel. Like it was gonna hit you, and then it misses Gariel for its turn. Like it had a moment of like, what the hell? Ignatius and Silith, yours reaches down to like Jamna, and as she's just riding, and you try to swipe it with her spear, she she tries to jump out the side as this thing just swipes through her face, and like it just moves through her face, and you can just see wisps of like her soul come out as she falls out the side of this thing. You see her wither a little bit like a raisin, you know what I mean? Like me without makeup, and then kind of falls out the side, and she just like looks over her shoulder and looks at Ignatius and just kind of points at this thing and just kind of falls out. And that brings up starts with a C. Would be Cervantes.
Cervantes.
Yeah.
I'm
Mine's with orange.
assuming I heard Brody with the commotion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hearing that, I'll turn back around and I'll say, Tabby. I'll turn Tabby. I was like, Tabby, we have to save everybody. And to turn around and what kind of yoke are Daryl and Daisy attached to? Is it like a? Is
It's
it like?
wide. So this, yeah. So it's, if you see on the map how big that is that you could walk on, I think I know where you're going with this, but like it's wide.
Okay.
And Daisy and Daryl are. Hey, first of all, Charm, thanks for the raid, buddy. I love you. Thank you so much. Great work out there today. But yeah, if that's what you're asking,
Yep.
it's a big answer.
I'm going right up in between Daryl and Daisy, and pulling out my longsword. Actually, I'm going straight dual wielding. I'm not pulling out the shield, and running up that yoke. And
Okay, yeah, you're definitely gonna give me an athletics check on this one. Yeah.
Athletics is 17.
Just because you're dismounting the horse, you're moving. So, hey guys, Cervantes just like did something cool. So like he comes up, throws his leg over and just runs down this yoke. 17. That is really good. And you see Gariel looking at you in shock, and now she's like, you know what I mean, like beginning to look over her head, and this thing's still coming in. So what would you like to do?
I'm going to say, even if the gods forsake us, my turnip-blessed blade shall not. And I'm swing at the dude with with 2 hits.
Okay, wait. With
So,
2 hits. One.
Not 2.
Whoa,
not
whoa, 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 whoa.
2 weapon
Got
fighting.
it.
2 weapon fighting.
Yeah.
So the first is a 22 to hit.
Okay.
And then the second is a 17 to hit.
Both hit.
Sweet.
Wait. It's got half cover. It is a DC. Yep, you got him.
Even though I'm right in front of it.
You're not. It's behind Dario.
Okay.
It's behind Dario. Yeah. So it's got a. Yeah.
It's a D8 and a D6. All right, so that's 8. 8 on the first, and then 3 on the second, and I will position myself in between Gariel and the monster.
Okay, so Feilani, you see one of these creatures that seem pretty powerful. Elder's Blast flies over, scimitar whiff, and then boom, like two like piercing, stabs straight into this thing as you see Cervantes kind of, you know, you're going to be like in rough terrain while walking around in this thing. So you're at your max right now on the deck with Lady Gariel, and that brings up
And just so
somebody
you
have
know,
one?
I'm going to use Sap, so he has disadvantage on his next attack roll.
Next attack roll. Okay. Okay, fantastic. Yep, this thing's looking wobbly. I like to see. Did you guys see the Instagram post? Those little shadow things that I posted. How they look all. That's how I imagined how those things look. They look just not chill, like a vapor of the last soul. You know what I mean? That was in there. That's lost in some voidish limbo. These things just look not chill. Okay, so that brings up Ignatius. You are currently so this
On the back
thing,
cart?
yeah, this thing's a few feet ahead of you. You're not in melee yet.
Can I be in? But I can be in melee. It's right there, isn't it?
Yeah, no, you. When I'm offering you a
No,
yeah.
I'm going to attack it.
Okay, fantastic. And then
I draw
you
my
get,
blades, and in I go.
You get advantage on this attack from Charm.
Oh, cool. I'll roll again then.
And don't forget, everybody, because of the previous donation, there's 1 point you can add either to the beginning of your roll or a point that you can roll after the roll. So you get there. The party has one regular and one special.
Thank you, Charm. I got a 21 to hit.
Oh yeah. Ooh yeah. Eh?
Because I had advantage, I get sneak attack. So I do a total of.
I'm definitely learning how to rogue through you, by the way, so that when it comes to I'm not arguing with anything that you do because I'm going to be like, that's canon now in the campaign.
So a total of 13.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So same thing, like piercing damage.
Yeah.
Yep, that makes purchase. Let me just check really fast on its resistances. Okay. Yeah, oddly enough, of the other magics and things like that hit these things, you skewer straight through it. Is there anything else that you like to do?
So it doesn't seem to hit her.
It does. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
just like you hit a
Cool.
normal person, it stabs
Then-
into it. You feel something, and then you
So
pull it back out, and this thing kind
I
of.
am going to attack with my offhand with my dagger, and
Okay.
because my short sword hit and it has the Vex property, it gives my next attack advantage. So this attack goes in with advantage as well.
Okay.
Here's a question: can you use multiples of
Yes.
those? Oh, okay. So I get Vex on the next one as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
So does a 14 hit?
It does, because this thing doesn't have any cover because it is trying to go after now Silith.
Okay, so another 2 points of damage.
All right, and that was a total of 16, sir.
15, 13 on the first hit, and 2
Okay.
on the second. 15.
Okay, these things both look, you know what I mean, like pretty rough right now, and that brings back around. The carts are swaying, the horses are now rearing up. You see this dude, Falcon, come around, and he quickly like draws a bow, and the arrow misses and goes above Lady Gariel's head. Lady Gariel missed her turn because she was, it was almost like a surprise round, but you see her quickly chanting something in front of you guys. And she's getting ready to place her hand on Ding Dong Johnson. That brings up Brody. I can be serious and funny at the same time. I'm not. I guess.
So, on its initiative, I would have had Slinky to move into place to where he would be able to assist me to give me the help on my next attack.
Okay. Yep. So you want Slinky to move to, um, so basically Slinky is just keeping an eye on these shadows because as you guys see the shadows, they do that thing where they wisp underneath someone's feet, and you momentarily all lose contact as these things are shifting side to side, and they're basically hiding in plain sight. There's boxes and things like that, but it's moving in and around, like Lady Gariel, a crate or whatever. But they are trying to shift around to gain that first advantage of hide. So Brody, you see him. You see Slinky. Slinky moves into position to stay close to this thing, right? And it gives you know where it's at based on where Slinky is. You know it's there, but it's still right now. It's moving, so it's at 3/4 cover for you. So you can still keep moving. You just have to keep moving down the line. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to keep moving until I can at least until I can get a good eye on it.
If you just keep moving down the line here, you're closer to it. There you go.
Okay. And I'm going to Eldritch Blast it.
Eldritch blasted.
Oh my god. I missed again. 11.
Well, it's not a 1 though, so that's good.
No, it's definitely better than a 1.
Quick one of these and Silas.
Well, I'm gonna, try to rebalance this spear in my hands now that it feels so much heavier for some reason. And I'm gonna try to hit this thing again now that I've seen my little friend carving it up. Maybe I feel inspired myself as I, grab my holy symbol even harder.
Okay. Sorry, I'm thinking.
That is a 12 to hit.
Okay, so you're right next to this thing. You're going to need to. It also kind of ducked like underneath the wagon itself to try to get underneath there and grab at your feet and just touch you. So you're gonna have to roll again for disadvantage to try to find this thing.
Oh, I rolled higher.
Nice. You did hit though, but yeah. So you did hit as it's trying to.
Cool.
So 12 was its AC as you're like right next to it, trying to you see it going underneath this thing. You follow it and you just take your spear and just, you know what I mean, like poke it underneath this.
That's 4 damage. 4 piercing damage.
Nice. The back one is getting.
I feel much more confident.
Do you want to move? Do you want to do anything? Or you stay right where you're at?
No, I'm sticking next to my murder hobo friend. I mean Ignatius.
Bob and weave.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good.
All right. So Feilani, so despite the fact that Slinky can see this thing, and Brody shot at it, the miss doesn't tell you where the monster is, but it's also trying to, slide underneath the wagon to get at you guys through cracks or whatever, through its, being able to move through object stuff. But so you can shoot at disadvantage or do whatever at disadvantage to try to see if you can blindly see this thing.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna try and see if my scimitar will make purchase again. Well, that's going to be a 4, so no.
All right. Yep. So you swing and you hack and you hit you see a shadow, right? You're kind of tripping out about shadows and the wagon wheel that's rolling, and it was a shadow of the wagon wheel on the inside, and you chip the bottom of the wagon. And at that time, you see, the hands, you see Gariel jump up a little bit as she's like, no. One of the shadows kind of reaches out to try to hit her, and you see her just like slump over
Does it
in
hit
the
her?
wagon. Yeah. Yep.
I'm gonna intercept.
Okay.
I'm gonna intercept as a reaction and reduce the damage dealt by 1d10 plus 2.
Ooh, I like this that you're intercepting. So you're touching your shield is most likely touching. How are you intercepting?
I just have to be holding a shield or a martial weapon to use the
Okay.
reaction.
Got it. So the weapon itself is touching this, not the Cervantes is touching
Correct.
this. And I want to say this because it's very important when you're willingly touching a shadow throughout this campaign.
It's
You
basically
reduce it how much?
it's like parrying it away from her
Yep.
basically.
So
It's
how much?
11 damage.
Oh, I'm gonna say that you basically, as this hits her, goes forward, you drop your shield, its point into the front of like where she's sitting in the wagon. You slam it into the wood, and it tries to hit and just stops on the shield itself. So you completely riposted the attack, if I use that word, but it's fancy and I want to.
C.
You riposted it. But it's still in a big fight in the back of this wagon. Ignatius, you made purchase. This thing slides underneath the wagon itself, and as you're getting ready for another shot, you feel it coming up through the wagon, right? Like it just moved through the wood itself, like it went down through the wood and then came up, gets right in your face for an attack. I don't know what your AC is, but it's 18 plus. 18
That hit.
plus, so it's a 22.
Yep, that hit.
Don't kill Jeremy. I don't want him to kill me tomorrow. So that's going to be 7 necrotic damage. Are you still up?
Yep.
All right. And then oof, nice, lucky. One strength gets pulled from you. So like you haven't felt this yet, but you kind of saw something. You just felt like, like super hungry. You know what I mean? Like almost like shaky hungry to the point of like you've ran one day doing thieving things, and you have a memory of running so hard for so long that you could just eat anything. You know what I mean? You just needed to like eat a loaf of bread. You're just starving, hungry, that strength sap stuff. And then, you can in your type of way like snap out of it. But hey, nobody died that round. That brings up Cervantes as you're sitting there on this yoke, like full up. This thing is right in front of you. You see the hand reaching out. You see it under there. So there's like no how would I say it's been seen. It did damage to somebody. Like it's not hidden.
Gotcha. I'm gonna move then between Gariel and the Shadow and say, "Stand behind me. I am the steel. I am shield, and I'm slightly winded, but unwavering." And I will swing with advantage from my Vex. Does a 12 hit?
It does.
Sweet. That's 2 12s on it. So, all right. So, D8 plus 2. So that's so 3, and then 3 and 4, so 7 total damage.
Okay.
And it has disadvantage on its next attack, and I have advantage on my next attack.
Oh, very nice. That was Cervantes. All right, Ignatius, toe to toe, with the shadow.
Yeah, I'm gonna stab it. I don't have much choice at this point, I don't think.
I'll also yell to Brody to get the guys in the back.
I rolled a 1, so I'm gonna re-roll that for being a halfling.
Okay.
Plus 6, so that's 17.
Hits.
11 damage,
Okay.
and then my offhand. If
Nope.
it's still
How
up.
do you want to do this? How do you want to do this with the first one? As this thing is looming around, dropping people come to you. How do you want to kill that shadow?
Well, I feel like I just like the sword goes right through and sticks in the wagon because it was coming up through the wagon
Yeah.
at me.
Yep.
So like my sword just embeds down in the wagon, and the dark vapors sort of drift away from the blade.
Okay. Yeah. It just like barely misses the body of Vin, but then the vapors just move up and away from the body. It doesn't go into it. It just kind of like dissipates. Anything else you'd like to do? So you're in the back of this thing. You see that's kind of clear, and then you see in the front of you just the other wagon kind of doing this, and you see Cervantes's tall, lanky Don Quixote body just like what I mean, attacking what looks to you like it must be a
The
shadow
dude.
because you can't see what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I can't afford to get hit again, so I'm gonna have to switch to my bow. So I think my turn is done.
Okay, sir. Brody. Beginning of the turn, you hear Cervantes like hit the one in the back, and then you see Ignatius, hit, and then you see him kind of just like stand up, and whatever was like making Ignatius look really dark, and it's high morning, he's now bright again. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like something was there, like in front of him, opaque, and now it's gone.
Okay. And do I have a good line of sight on the shadow now? Or
So as you're moving, no, it's almost like it's underneath the wagon. Like you know that where he's swinging, he's fighting behind Daisy and Daryl's butt. Do you see where he's at? Like if you look at the map, you can even in the map you can hardly see him from where your character is. So you'll have to turn either back around or dismount. Does that make sense?
okay, so he's on the other side.
Yeah. So if you know what I mean, like
I'm on the yoke.
What about like the one at the back?
it's gone.
Oh, it's gone.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I just
So
haven't
then-
removed it yet.
Okay. Is there room for me to ride around behind the first wagon and come around the other side
Yeah.
and get a view on it? Okay,
Yep.
that's what I want to do. Then.
Yep. So you swing around, and there it is, off to the side behind Daisy. You know the difference between Daisy. Daisy's got a Viking helmet with 2 horns, and
Right.
Daryl's got like a rhino horn out the front.
Yeah.
So, anyways, you come around the side, and then you see Cervantes in his last, you know what I mean, go with it with this thing, and you see Ding Dong Johnson laying there. You'll find out.
All right. So then I'll take a shot at it with, once again, Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
And do I get advantage with?
Yep. Because
Okay.
it's hidden. It's trying to get underneath there,
Right.
but Slinky, since you didn't come up with another prime directive, Slinky's just staying with it, and
Okay,
like
right.
moving forward. So you see Slinky enough to go like, oh shoot, it's backs to me, pow.
All right. Oh my god.
Yes.
A 10. A 10.
Ooh, this is getting
Oh.
spicy. Yep. So Cervantes, you tell him shoot the back of the cart, and then all of a sudden he comes around and shoots a beam, and it goes straight over your head.
Brody's
but that
going to be
brings
very
up-
very broody after this fight. If we survive.
Silith, Jamna is off to the side on the ground, and you know that you see Brody's horse ride around in front of you and shoot at something over Cervantes's head.
All right. Well, I'm gonna look that way to see if I see any kind of shadows or anything like that.
From where you're at, you'd almost have to like dismount.
Oh,
Like, get off
then
the
I'm gonna
wagon.
say, Tamora, give me the luck I need, and I'm gonna try to flip off the cart.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that you can get out of the cart super easy. So that's not
I
even gonna be
said,
like.
I said flip, and I know how well this is gonna work.
Oh, you want to flip?
Oh, I want to do a flip.
Okay, yeah, make an athletics check.
Oh, I'd love to. Holy shit! That's a 17.
Okay. Yeah. So
Because
like
I'm -1 right now.
so you yeah, you do like a front flip, land. Jamna is at your feet, and you do see that her eyes are open, but she just like is kind of in the fetal position, like holding her stomach, like she doesn't know what's wrong. You know what I mean? And just you see her going to grab a dagger to like throw in a direction, but you don't know necessarily it's there. The monster is there, but you just have to shoot at disadvantage to hit it, unless it's a spell, I guess.
Me? Spell? Yeah. Firebolt.
All right. Yep. Roll the hit with disadvantage. Roll on one,
I'd be
please.
happy to. Well then. Apparently, we all just want to kill the NPCs.
What'd you get?
Oh, I got a 12 and a 1.
Oh, okay. There's a special out there if you wanna use that special.
I mean, that would make it a 2 so I don't hit people.
It's up to
That
you.
might be a good idea. Yes. Yeah, okay.
So the venom flies over, Skylar, and then a firebolt poof, flies over your head. Like there's just tracer fire just flying over your head right now. Feilani.
And I yell out, I'm seeing dots in my eyes from the flip. I'm sorry.
You're out of melee, Feilani, as this thing kind of, moved underneath the wagon. Uh, but you see Cervantes kind of fighting this thing as well.
Okay. And you said Lady Gadriel, she is not in
She's
hold
fine.
of the reins?
She's kind
Oh,
of
she's
sitting
fine?
there, but you can see she's reaching towards
Ding dong.
Don
Johnson.
John Raskins.
Okay, I would like to move up next to her and see
Okay.
if I can help with what she's doing.
She looks like she's about to cast a healing spell, or she's in the process of healing Ding Dong Johnson.
Can I tell what kind of state he's in?
He's like alive. He's just low hit
Okay.
points and drained of what do you call strength.
Okay, well, I will, before she does her healing spell, I want to hurry up and get in there and cast Spare the Dying on him to her.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Before she casts the healing spell, you just walk up and
Yes.
just like got it.
Stabilize him, yeah.
Perfect. That's not a
Enough.
roll. So yeah, yep, you do that, and he seems to be like, like breathing normally. He's just kind of an NPC that got hit in the face for like the first time. You know what I mean? So he's kind of just chilling there. But when you do go down there to heal him, you feel a shadow like looming over Feilani. You moved in there? Where's this thing going for? It was going for. That's gonna go for Feilani. That is a. What? You're 9? That's too low. 9 to hit. Feilani.
No, that misses. Yeah, that misses.
Phew.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
no
this thing, you can see
kidding.
it swiping at you. It's almost like you get the sense like it knows what's about to die. You know what I mean? So it's going to go after things like that to make more friends. And that brings up Cervantes.
And I will just finish this up and say the sacred code demands rebuttal. And I'm going to call Blessed Smite.
And now you'll get, this is not an advantage because no one's hit it yet.
Huh?
So this is a regular shot because it's hidden.
Oh, so just okay, gotcha.
Yep.
So just so not disadvantage.
Yep.
Ooh, nice. So 22 to hit.
Oh yeah.
And so I call smite on this really loud. So that's 4 damage.
Okay.
And then with the short sword.
Oh. Wait a minute. Is that radiant damage?
Huh?
Is it radiant? What damage is the smite?
I'm a fighter. I'm just calling smite.
Oh, you called smite. God, I forgot you're a fighter. You're tricking even me. Like I'm fooled. Like yeah. All right. Yeah.
To the DM.
I'm just
No,
calling
you-
smite
you-
really
you-
loud.
It's late, Jeremy. It's late. Yeah.
And then the second is a 10 to hit. Actually, I'm going to use a luck point to give myself advantage on it.
Okay. A luck point. Is that a fighter thing?
It's a... What is that from?
It would be from your background.
Yeah, my background, yeah.
You-
So that's a... So plus 4 is 15 to hit.
That hits.
And that... So another 4 piercing.
Oh. Okay. How do you want to do it?
So I call smite really loud, like blinding smite, and I come down
Yeah.
with the long sword, and then just pierce with the short sword.
So Feilani, you hear this, and you're not looking at Cervantes. So, for all intents and purposes, as I was tricked as well, this thing goes away when he smites it. Just for anybody that saw this, your characters, you know what I mean, like, are kind of think that, oh, and things go quiet. Jamna is sitting there holding her stomach. She just starts throwing up. You hear her, but she's, like standing up and just not like whining about it, but she's so messed up by whatever this was, and she gets back into the cart. Ding Dong Johnson, huh?
Can I do medicine? Can I do a medicine check on her?
Yeah, sure. We're out of combat right now, so as you guys are just like, you know what I mean, like scrambling around.
17.
17. Yeah, she seems. You've never seen anything like this before. It's almost like a bad sickness, but you get the sense from your 17. You said medicine check, right?
Yep.
That this is almost like exhaustion. That if you just need to weather this, because you notice it on yourself as well. Like it doesn't feel like the shakes that you have from losing strength and stuff like that. And you see, Ignatius as well, kind of looking a little peaked. Even though he's playing the tough guy, but he can't mask it. You know what I mean? And you also see Ding Dong Johnson kind of stand up like, oh, sea biscuits, and he's just like rubbing his shoulder. He's like, this ain't the old arthritis. I think I got something way worse. But Gariel, gets to moving around, grabs your hand, Feilani, and cures you for 5 hit points. Like you see,
my God.
a radiant light and warmth on her hand as you were reaching towards Ding Dong Johnson. She just moves that spell basically to your wrist and empowers you. And she looks at you with this like, I think maybe the gods, and looks back at Pete. The gods helped me make the right choice. Your selflessness reaching towards Mr. Johnson. He's sitting there. His pots and pans, his backpack's all turned upside down like a ruck when you fall over, and there's just shit pouring out of it everywhere. But I'll kind of go around. So, Brody, you're clippity clopping, and you see Cervantes pulling his sword out of the dirt, basically. What would you like to do, Brody?
Thank the gods, Cervantes. I don't know what was wrong with me. At least some of us were on our game today.
By the turnip in the code, evil is undone. And I turn around and I just walk back up the yoke and hop onto Tabby. Come, Tabby. We must get this train to Fandolin.
Is everyone okay?
Yeah, we will be.
How much further is it to Leylon?
Okay. Yeah. Make a perception check.
6.
Jeez.
Okay. You're kind of going through all of this stuff. You hear Cervantes talking as well, and you see a farmhouse in front of you. You don't see, this could be anywhere, but you do see a farm with you know what I mean, with a rocked like fence around it. There's your basic turnip field or what have you, right there, but you don't know necessarily where you're at. Kind of in this moment.
Did you say
In
turnips?
this maybe. But that brings up Silith. You just you ran up and you didn't just heal? No. Oh yeah.
Not heal. I did a medicine check on
Medicine check. All right. So Phailani, you feel the warmth of Sister Gariel holding your hand. Has like a kind of a moment with you, and then you see her kind of look down, and she smiles when she sees, you know what I mean, like Silith healing and checking on Jamna, and she just kind of just looks at both of you with this bit of approval, and she just kind of clutches this medallion that's on her chest, and it just looks like a pinwheel. It's like a circle, but it's got like the colors of a rainbow in almost like pie shapes on it. And she does it, and she does a quick spin on it. Like that's how she plays with it. She just does like a quick spin, and you see it dialing around. But what would you like to do, Phailani?
Um, I go to grab her hand with both of my hands, and I kind of bow over them, and I say to her, I want to thank you again for giving me my life back. And I'm sorry that you lost your friend in the process. I know how that feels to lose a loved one and a friend. Um, and I will do right by you giving me this new life. Again, I thank you.
Like, fortune chose you, and she looks at Pete. You know, Timora seems to know or chooses, what's best. And she's like, and I hope fortune follows you. She's like, for now, I think we should find some place to rest. I don't think we should go any farther. And you hear her like kick where the dirt would be, but there's like a layer of snow on the ground that reminds you that this weird inclement weather just came through, but you can also feel warmth. Like there was a bitter cold, but it's like warm again, which to your weather sense, I mean you can check it, but like it
Mhm.
seems like some sort of weird weather came through, but the predominant weather of itself of Faerun is still more powerful than that. Does that make sense?
Mm. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. You were sitting there as well, and you see Eldon Keyword's head just come out of a box, like you just see his eyes, and he puts his glasses on, and he kind of stands up, and surveys everything, and he just like looks straight down the road. But that brings up, let's see, Cervantes, what would you like to do?
Uh, I will climb up on Tabby and um, come up to Lady Gariel, and it's like, my lady, were you injured in the battle?
No, luckily enough, either it had bad luck or I had wonderful luck. Timora, Timora be praised. I would like to meet all of you at my very humble shrine at some point in time when we get to Phandalin. But and she points ahead. She's like, but but there it is. And I don't see I don't see anyone. And you could turn around and you see a steep a tower, like almost like a wizard's tower in the center of the town, and then but you do see the shadow of houses, probably a half a mile to a mile in the distance, just enough where you can't break out good character of what kind of building it is, but you see one story buildings, maybe a two-story building here, and then a three, four-story tower itself, like in the middle of the town.
Do you think we should? Do we think we have time to make it to Fandolin up the road?
She takes a moment and she's like, "Give me a moment to contemplate." And she just kind of sits there and puts her hand up in the direction of the town, and you can tell she's kind of casting something, but taking her level of in-depth insight. Um, Ignatius.
Well, I'm hurt pretty bad, so I'm just gonna kind of slump down in the back cart,
Okay.
and
Would you guys like to
yeah.
rest?
What's that?
Would you guys like to rest?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
look around and make sure there's no more dead bodies.
If the town's close, I would prefer just to get there.
Okay. Now, okay, the town is about like a mile off. That's what you want to do. Okay, we'll go back around. Brody, you want to look to see if there's any bodies around you. Go for it.
I want to look very. I'm gonna ride around.
Okay.
Before doing anything else, I'm gonna make sure there are no dead bodies, whether they
Go
were here
ahead and
before
do
we
a
got
search
here.
at advantage.
Okay.
If you're like deliberately being like, "Hey, I just want to do this search. I'm spending my whole whatever."
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, I rolled. And this is investigation, or what'd you say?
Whatever you prefer to
Oh, okay.
to look for, whatever. So if it's investigation,
22.
describe how you investigate. If it's
Um,
perception,
I,
how do
I'm
you?
gonna. Yeah, I did a perception and I got a 22. Finally, something
Okay.
good.
That is
And so
very good for
I'm
one.
going to I'm gonna sit up high on my horse, and I'm just gonna take a good lay. I'm gonna do like a sector search. I'm gonna look in one sector,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna look in another sector. And I'm just gonna go around in like a good 45-foot radius around the entire group.
It's kind of distracting at first as you do, you see that there's a building and you know that there's definitely something there to investigate, but you go around the forest line and I'll tell you kind of some of the things you see. You do see a woman's body deceased in the tree line across the road. You see that and you do your scan, you come back around on the other side and you see a man's body slumped over in the field. There's a plow there, but there's no horse, right? But the plow is there, like it's dragging one horse. But there's a man slumped over, and as you're searching, you hear sniffling in the top part of like this cottage barn. Like you look at it and it kind of looks like, you know what I mean, like it's got an open like window up the top and you hear sniffling inside this barn. But I'm gonna hold you, so you see that, you can like verbally tell folks that, but your kind of action is up.
Okay. Yeah, I would just. There's a couple of bodies over here, one in the tree line, one in the field, and then I think I hear a child or something, sniffling or crying up in the top of the barn.
We'll go back around to Silith. You're paying attention to him, kind of walking around, and then you hear him in the distance, mention like, "Hey, there's one over here and there's one over there. What would you like to do?"
So I'm there with, you said I'm with Jabna? Is that the
You
person?
are, and Jamna seems to be fine, but she just looks peaked right now, like,
Well, I'm gonna
and she's
try to
just as
help.
wounded as anybody else.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to help her back in the cart. I'm gonna take a look at Ignatius, see how he's doing, while also trying to get all of us something to drink after this. So first, I want to check him out to see how he's doing, while also being like, "Yeah, this will help our spirits." Spirits.
I'm in rough shape.
Yeah, I'll roll a medicine check to figure that out, and that's a 12.
And this was to do what now? I'm sorry.
That's to check Ignatius, just to see how he looks, how he's feeling.
Same thing. He's got like this
Yeah.
weird, you know, tiresome look about him. Like he's been up for like 2, 3 days. Tux, nice dude. We got the special back, and since it's 25, we'll add 2 more specials on there. Thanks, Tux.
Yeah, so I would explain to Ignatius and Jabna, we're gonna need to rest to sleep this off, this exhaustion that we have.
Yeah, since you took 2 medicine checks and you're looking at Jamna, and then you go over and Ignatius, if you're okay with him kind of checking you out, like
Yeah, yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
yeah, so he checks you out and you're like, you can kind of sense that you're the first thing that you would do, you know what I mean, on this thing is like, all right, let's rest first and see, you know what I mean, and see what happens there. Um, that so you that's a full medical assessment after this one. Like we need to rest. It's only been like 2 minutes post battle, just in case you guys have anything up and running. And that'll bring up Feilani. So Gariel sits there, and for her next turn, she's like, hold still, and she pumps another. She just like gives you another 4 hit points for another light cure light wounds. And then she's like, all right, I'm gonna, and she goes to the back. She's like, I'm gonna go check on some other folks. And she kind of like walks towards the back. Up, you're muted.
Did I possibly hear Brody saying that there was a child crying in the barn?
You did. Gariel's talking to Ding Jong Johnson. She didn't hear it, so she was just like, and he's like, grand negotious, and you know what I mean. And she's like, okay, and she just wants to like move down the line. But you did hear it.
Okay. I would like to go and investigate the barn. Just to find the
Oh,
child.
okay. Um, okay, so you walk up, you see a 2-story building. There's like an opening in the beginning. You don't hear the sniffling because somebody probably said through your passive insight, "I hear someone in there." Oh my goodness! Thank you so much, Jay. Huge raid. Super duper appreciate you.
Hi, everybody.
We'll be playing on Jay's channel on Saturday where he emotionally abuses me. Whatever body I have left after Jeremy abuses me tomorrow night, I shall bring forth to the Kazuma channel.
And emotionally abuses and make believe that damages you.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, so you cross this driveway. You see the man laying next to, and it looks like he's got like some sort of like farm implement just out of his reach. Like maybe he had dropped it or whatever. But you move up to this barn itself. Like, would you want to investigate the barn itself? You want to go in there and find whatever it is? Like, what's your intent?
Well, he said that I heard him say that he heard sniffling, so that's what I kind of want to do. I want to investigate
Yeah,
the
go for it.
barn to find the sniffling.
Okay.
I'm following after her, knowing that she was probably very emaciated.
Yeah, no problem. We can retroactive that stuff. Yeah, you go into fighter night mode, and you kind of just hang out with her and go see what's going on here. There's a door. There's a wooden cottage door. There's light going through this window, but you know how when light hits the window, you can't see what's going on inside. Relatively quiet, but go ahead and make your roll.
That's gonna be an 11.
Okay. Did you assist? Did you want to use your action to
No,
assist her? Or
no,
you
because
just
if
there?
I had noticed the turnips, I would have dug
Yeah.
up, grabbed a turnip out of the ground, and run it across my blade as she was doing that.
Yep. So you open this up, the door up, and like a very quiet cottage. You smell that you see where like a teapot is, almost like in flames, right? And it is like in flames. You get the sense that it's been cooking here for a while, but only like maybe an hour. It hasn't like burnt anything around it. You see also like a cold pot of like stew. There is a set of wooden stairs that go like away from you and then bend backwards into some sort of upstairs. Um, but there's a table out. You see various toys kind of laying around that might indicate that that there might be someone up here. But there's just like normal downstairs sitting. You do with your 11 think that whoever's here probably lives upstairs.
Okay. I'm definitely going to head upstairs. And while I'm doing that, I call out for anyone, who's there in kind of like a very non-threatening voice. Just asking, is there anyone here that needs help?
Yep. Oh, well. Well, I just want you to roll your persuasion check, if you could, Jaylani.
Damn it, Jim.
Until we learn how to play your character, I'm gonna let you learn how to play your character. Yeah. So roll that delicious 6 charisma right now. And see what
I got, with the -2, that's a 14.
Okay. So you're like,
Not bad.
Nice.
you belt out with like a bit of like, hey, 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 when you change it, and you hear like, where, where's mommy? You hear that like, you just and then like a sobbing, panic cry just starts happening upstairs, and then you hear like footsteps run off to the side, and we'll pass it over to Cervantes as well. So she came in, checked out the place, and then was just like did a very nice like, hey, who is it? Oof, that's another 2 specials up. We're using your special thing, Jay. Another 2 specials. Thanks. That's Patrick, right?
Yeah.
Am
So
I
going
supposed
up
to be
north,
tracking
that's
Patrick.
my own specials, or are they a pool?
It's a pool. We're using a pool.
Okay. Okay.
So there's 4 out there and 1 regular still.
Okay. I just wanted to ask. Sorry.
Hearing her kind of belt that out in a kind of in a crass sort of way, I'm gonna put my hand on her shoulder and like, that's pretty good. And I'm just gonna go up the stairs and like, Tyr will save
worked,
you,
though.
child.
Yeah, I
Wait.
mean, when she's been talking to you, she's been kind of off-putting, but that voice
Oh, okay.
was actually very good. Yeah. So and then
It's like,
so
I'm
you
like,
head up
you're
there.
getting better. You're getting better.
Yep. So Cervantes, you see 2 beds, like a much like Goldilocks style. There's a big bed and there's a little bed. There is a chest of drawers, a wardrobe, right, and a circular window that's like the shutters are kind of like open, bringing in the sun in here. But yeah, as you crest, you see these beds, but you can make your whatever you want to do. Check.
I'm just going to. I don't trust anything in this right now. This sniffling child that we
You don't
possibly
trust me, is it?
could possibly be a shadow as well. So I'm going to stand guard at the top of the stairs and say, "Young child, Sir Cervantes is here to the twice blessed is here to save you. You are safe with me."
Yeah. So underneath the bigger bed, you do see, from under the bed, a shadow of like a child come out from underneath the bed and just kind of recede back underneath the bed, and that
Oh.
brings up
It's
Oh,
a shadow
God.
killer.
Well, it's like if I can pull out a turnip and hand it to him out of
A
my
shadow?
out of my pouch. Just the child to the child.
What kid is going to want to turnip?
Uh, with a turnip, roll persuasion at disadvantage. If you're
I have good persuasion anyway, so. Oh, no. That's a 9.
yeah. So you hear what I'll say is you do hear noise of the movement, and the shadow goes all the way underneath the bed, like against the wall. And that brings up Ignatius.
Um,
Good.
I'm kind of curious about what's going on in the barn.
You stayed with him.
Um,
You came up with him.
Yeah, but I'm hanging back. Like I'm listening and watching. Is it, maybe checking the place out to see if there's anything of valuable lying around? Anything of value?
Okay, yeah. So she goes through. She moves through things. There is a dead man outside. You see that off to your right. You hear them kind of searching around. You hear, surprisingly, Feilani she changes her tone to sound softer, but it's almost like she deliberately has to switch her own natural octaves to sound sweet. Hey, you got Christmas. You're like,
Do I see the? But like
is there
I'm
a
looking
child
around.
upstairs? Hey,
It's a
sweetie.
barn we're looking into, right? Is there a house nearby?
It's like same. It's like a barn house. You know what I mean? Like it's shaped.
Okay, so I'm
kinda
looking
like
to see if
that.
there's any if there's a family heirloom that looks expensive.
Okay. Just
It's
go.
barn dominium.
Yeah. Do an investigation. Hey Bones, thanks for the subscription, bruh.
Had to
Awesome.
give it to
You guys
her.
are so great. Look at everybody
Had to
just
give it
watching.
to her.
What'd you get, buddy?
I got a 4.
Nice. What I'll say is you are searching for you start putting your hand on like a shiny candelabra and you lock eyes with Feilani. So I'm gonna play this like you you see them come in, there's like a child crying, and you see Ignatius like grab, and you have it. You have a nice shiny candelabra, but because it was kind of low, we'll say Feilani kind of saw you. You got your hand on it. You know what I mean? Like you see it, and you're just doing whatever.
I'm gonna be like,
Wow.
and
Seriously? I think you have more important things to do, like
it gets
getting your
dark.
health
It gets
back up.
dark. I wanted something to carry the candles with.
I kind of just give him like a squint, very suspicious look, and I turn back to put my focus on the child because there's no reasoning with him. I know where that candelabra will end up.
Brody.
With this group, yeah.
I don't want to let Feilani down, so I do take the candelabra.
You have a candelabra worth 5 gold pieces.
Nice.
Since everybody has gone basically into the house to check on the kid, I'm gonna go over to the body in the field that's slumped over the plow or whatever, and I think I'm going to
Not touch it.
I'm gonna Eldritch Blast it.
The body?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with you, Brody, because I didn't go in the house, but everybody just started wandering to the house, and I'm like, I thought we were gonna rest.
Yeah.
The doctor said to rest, so I'm with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shoot the body.
Do you say that
Well,
you're
it's an
gonna
Eldritch
shoot the body?
Blast, and it's prone, so it's disadvantaged. So shoot.
Okay.
Do you say that you're gonna do that?
Yeah, I'm gonna say I don't trust dead bodies anymore.
Well, then I
And-
would also shoot it.
Okay. All right.
You guys both roll disadvantage.
Awesome. I rolled a 10 and an 11 on the dice, so that gives me a 16.
Okay, you hit.
Well, I
Yeah,
rolled
the
a
only-
3 and a
Silas?
4 on the die.
You got a 4?
I rolled a 3 and a 4 on the die, so obviously I did not hit.
So he
I did-
The
shoots,
second thing is overkilling you guys.
and then the rocks like kind of explode from, was it a flaming
Firebolt.
bolt?
Firebolt,
Firebolt?
yeah.
And it just kind of lights a little bit of hay or something on fire. Things are kind of smoking, but the body doesn't move. It just kind of sits there. It doesn't seem to like react.
Okay. And I'll kind of like kick it with my foot. You know, the way Darth Vader did with Obi-Wan's robes. Yeah.
Yeah, he stomp. I mean, the body just rolls over, and you see a man in his 30s.
Okay. And I look over at him, and I'm gonna say,
You see Jeremy, a man in
Yeah.
his 30s.
do they can they come back to life? Like even after we shoot them when they're dead, how do we keep them from coming back to life? Is there?
I'll do a medicine check after it's been blown up.
Okay. Okay.
Next thing we know, we see an arm coming through the window.
Yes, go for it. Just go ahead and roll this scene. So we're on the scene of, and then we'll go back to what's going on upstairs. So you guys are checking out this dead body. Yeah. So roll a medicine check.
I got a 7.
Got a 7. Yeah, it's a. Yeah, it looks. He looks pretty dead. Yeah.
He's dead, Jim.
Yeah.
I still don't
You guys are
trust it.
standing
I
over
don't
him
know.
like, yes, dude's no longer alive. And Gariel is off healing. The rest of the group, they're out at the carts. They're kind of sitting on the, like they move to the house side of the carts, and they're kind of just sitting on their butts, kind of leaning up against the wagon wheel, kind of just beginning a rest. And that brings up Sila Felani. You're downstairs. Cervantes goes upstairs, and you see him roll a turnip like a grenade underneath the bed as you start coming up the stairs, and a shadow recedes underneath the bed.
So I kind of just look at Cervantes and I'm like, what kid do you know would want a turnip?
Who doesn't love a turnip? Turnips are great.
As far as I know, you're the only one that is obsessed with turnips.
I put a turnip in her hand and like, well, you deal with the kid then, and I'm going to basically clear the house, clear the rest of this floor.
It's all clear down here.
For any other threats.
So when I see him turn around and go back down the stairs, I am going to cast Druid. I'm going to do sensory effect, and I'm going to do spectral dancing fairies around me. And I'm going to go over to the bed and kind of like bend down and look up under the bed and have like little spectral fairies flying around me just to make myself look very non-threatening.
You can do another persuasion check at advantage because using that. That's awesome.
Awesome. That is going to be an 8.
Oh, with advantage.
With advantage,
The
because it's a
fairies are
-2.
terrifying. The
But, like-
fairies are terrifying.
You have good teeth. You have good teeth, but they're like green from whatever you eat. You know what I mean? And you're like, hi. And you got like druid stuff in your hair. You know what I mean? And
Oh
there's
my
fairies
God.
around you, and you just hear just
Oh,
this scream as this kid just like runs back. Like, the shadows are gonna take me away, like mommy and daddy, and just kind of like scamper off. I'm sorry. I was really rooting for you, Felani. But we got to really lean into this charisma. Dump stats. Okay.
absolutely hate it.
Okay. That brings up Cervantes. The turnip didn't work. The kid is just freaking out underneath this bed.
I I just chuckle and proceed to investigate the rest of the room. I'm looking for any potential
You're just
threats.
letting this go. You're letting this happen.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. Go ahead
I'm
and do
just
it.
letting her do her
You're just
thing.
there's a screaming kid. Okay, fantastic.
I chuck your turnip right back at you. I hope it hits you in the back of the head.
Yeah. This
Uh,
is great.
yeah, I'm just investigating the rest of the room for any threats.
Okay, roll an investigation.
Investigation 14.
Yep. So you rolled around, you find, some various belongings, a journal, you find, 10 silver pieces, a humble, amount of money that they would have, some hardtack food and and things. And as you investigate, you see the outside window, and there's like a empty pen from animals and stuff like that. Like the door was open, maybe to let animals graze, and they're like gone. There's a few tracks, and they like head, off to the west, like animal tracks.
But for all intents and purposes, the rest of the floor is clear.
Yeah, the house is clean.
Yes,
Yep.
like I will announce that. I'll actually I'm gonna yell out the window to Gariel. It's like the house is clean. We can stay here for the night.
Okay. Yeah, and they get up and they start like, slowly, really defeated, start moving towards you, and then Gariel moves back and I forget her name, Halia, I think was her name, stays next to that the Vin guy. They do begin to move and then they turn back and they stay with the wagons and they Gariel kind of gestures like kind of one of these motions. Uh, but then that brings up Ignatius.
I'm gonna keep poking around.
Okay.
See if I can.
Yeah, you've basically found everything you can downstairs.
Well, is there maybe a toy or something?
Yeah, there is. There was a toy on the Feilani found. There is a teddy bear.
Oh,
in the bottom of it.
Feilani already found a toy.
It's on the floor.
Oh, well, I'll grab the toy.
Okay. And please don't break my heart. And I pocket the toy.
I'm gonna walk over. Well, they're upstairs with the kid, right?
Yep.
I'll
me.
just bring I'll bring up the toy up, and I'll be like, "Hey, crazy swamp lady, move out of the way."
All right. Roll a persuasion at advantage. You're using a tool.
And I'll be like, "Here, kid, come and get the toy."
Watch it be.
Can I get
a nat 20.
advantage?
Yep. Feilani wanted this so bad.
Sorry, I throw the turnip at him.
I don't think it rolled with advantage.
Just roll twice.
Okay. Yeah, I'm on it. I'm on it. 17.
Okay. Yep. So you hear her say Chewy, and her hand, you know what I mean, comes out to reach towards the teddy bear. What do you do? You see
I'll
a
be
little,
like, you have to promise me. Am I the same size as her?
Yes.
I'll be like, you have to promise me to be brave.
She's like, I'll be brave. And she comes out, she sees you holding the style and immediately comes out and just waist hugs you and just starts like downloading. Yep.
I look at Feilani very uncomfortable.
Not,
hear her just-
nope.
Yeah,
I'm like,
she looks
come on.
up to you and she's just like, Mommy and Daddy were hit by the storm and they turned into weird shapes.
Storm turned them into weird shapes?
Weird shapes.
That's weird. Is it just you and Mom and Dad here? You got any brothers or sisters?
Oh, it's just me.
You got any pets?
No, the kid. She's just like, she looks around. She's like, no, I had chickens and pigs, but they ran off.
Chickens are terrifying.
I don't like changing the pigs or the I don't like getting the chickens. They bite at me.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I don't like chickens either.
I don't like
And yet-
chickens.
And let everything tastes like them.
Did you
I
have
don't know
goats?
about that.
Hearing the animals, did you have goats?
No, no goats. Just pigs.
She didn't say
and a
goats.
horse.
She said pigs and chickens. Crazy turnip night.
Listen,
And she has the turnip in her hand, and she hands Cervantes the turnip back.
I take the
What's your
turnip
name?
from her.
What's your,
I take the turnip from her hand and ruffle her hair.
what's your name, kid?
Ginny.
Jenny
Jenny?
from the block.
Oh,
Ginny.
you took my joke.
Genie?
Ginny. Ginny.
Jer-
Ginne.
Jerome?
Ginny.
Okay, Ginny. You can't stay here, so you're gonna have to come with us.
I want to come with you.
Well,
Kid likes a murder. I don't get it.
Mama.
You murdered someone? Oh.
Not just someone, multiple people.
don't listen
kid.
to the crazy swamp lady. Come along. I'll just guide Ginny out the door.
Okay, so you're walking out with Ginny.
Yeah.
I just
your
want
boots
to.
on,
I want
kid.
to. I just want everybody to take a moment as how this went down with Ignatius walking out with a child of everybody else. Yay, dice! Dice do things. This is great. And she just you hear her like pull your hand, Ignatius, and point. She's like, "Papa, Papa, what are they doing to Papa?" As they're like kicking him, and you know what I mean, and you know.
Be like, hey,
Sorry about
We're-
that.
hey,
We're,
stop that!
we're trying to wake him up.
He's on fire!
No, he's not.
Putting him out.
We were
Putting
trying
him
to-
out.
We were trying to thaw him out. He was frozen
Ignatius,
stiff.
she tugs you and wants to like, and she whispers, she's like, Daddy was hit by one of the dark things, and then I went looking for anything that I could do, and then I saw Daddy standing over Daddy, and then Daddy moved down the road. And then
Which
I
way
saw
does she
mommy.
point?
I saw mommy do the same thing from the trees. Mommy went down the road towards where you guys came from.
Well, they're probably gone now. They've gone on to a better place. It'll be fine. Don't look at Daddy right now. That's not really him anymore. That's just his body. Gosh. Okay, come on.
Yeah. You know, like we'll go into this, but she just begins to, you know what I mean? She's crying, and you know, but she seems pretty taken by you at the moment, and she's kind of hanging close to you.
I'll be
So
like,
beyond-
I have a fiddle in the wagon over there. Do you like music?
Yeah.
Well, come on.
It's so sweet. All right. So, yep, you move back and you begin playing her music as she sits in the back of this thing. Halia takes a blanket and puts it over top of Vin as you walk up, and Sister Gariel does the same thing, and she nods to Ding Dong Johnson and Falcon, and they begin to bring the other two bodies and put them inside the wagons as well. And Gariel kind of stands there, and you know, Cervantes, you saw her, and she kind of like waves you guys to her, like the whole, you know what I mean, the whole party. She kind of stands there, and she's like, with Pete being gone and not having a whole lot of us, we're what are you guys thinking? Are we staying here? But do you think it's wise to go into this town?
What time of day is it?
It's I'd say it's morning.
It's morning.
Let's not stay
We
here.
definitely need to rest.
Well, I was gonna say, like, well, if it's morning, like we all absolutely need a rest.
You think that you know, as it dawns on you now, it was dusk when it blew through. You guys then boogied out of the swamp, thinking it was the swamp's fault. You're now like, oh, I've been almost been out for like 24 hours at the same time.
Right. I'm just wondering, like, if we is it since it is day, do we want to rest here during the day or just finish the mile to get to Phandalin and rest in Phandalin?
Phandalin is like a day away.
Oh, this is okay. I thought the town that we
that's
saw.
Leylon. You're
That's
at the
Leylon.
crossroads. Yep.
Okay.
It's like a T intersection to go down the Tribor Road or take the high road.
Do we know if it's safe to stay in Leylon or no? At this
I don't
point,
think we know that.
why don't we just hang out here, and we can take it. Why don't we just take a whole day, and just rest here in this house, and we can move on tomorrow morning.
Okay. Do you guys think you could bury the? I'm not going to say this in front of Ginny, but like I'll sort of motion like you should maybe bury the bodies if we're going to do that.
You bury all the bodies?
I think that's not a bad idea.
I mean, we can do that.
Gariel's
Well, there's
Yeah,
only two
Gariel
bodies,
says she-
right?
Gariel says she wants to bring Pete back to family. She's like, there's an elder pen of, you know, and she lets you know. As you guys can do that. Is that what you guys want to do? You want to bury the other bodies? But she's just like, she stays there and she's like, he's going back to family.
I'm gonna. Can I ask Gariel something?
Yeah.
Gariel, once they turn into a shadow, it's like a one and done thing, right? They can't like keep doing it.
It's like, I'm not sure. It appeared that way. It appeared that when the ones that were hovering next to the wagon seemed, you know, corporated. And then when they were killed, they would like dissipate. So I don't know how long they last. I don't know anything. The child mentioned that the parents went south. Those, you know, make an insight check.
18.
You get the sense that the shadows that were probably the parents were probably the shadows that created that wagon, and then perpetuated whatever was going on there with the original wagon. So,
Okay.
but like since then, you know, you could just sit and wait and watch these bodies. You know what I
Maybe.
mean? Like,
Mhm. Well, I think what what Ignatius said about burying the bodies is probably a good idea, and you know, and I think it's the right thing to do regardless. But if we're taking if we're taking him back to Phandalin, then we just need to make sure we're watching him throughout the day.
I appreciate it with Pete. He had led on to me as we became closer friends, and she kind of like looks at her hand, and you see like a small like ring on her hand. He was mentioning that his order was being pushed out, and you know, you guys are all there out of a place called Helm's Hold. It's a keep in a monastery for priests of Helm. He was on his way back there. He wanted to continue on to Phandalin to meet an old paladin named Darren. I think Darren would know. I've never been to this place before, but Darren would know best. And as paladins are, and she kind of looks at his shield, they do like to be buried properly with their order. And I, you know, and she looks at Halia, who's just basically with her grabbing Vin by his 2 feet, and just as soon as you said like bury these people, you see Halia just like pulling him out of the wagon, and poof, his head hits the ground, and he starts dragging. You know what I mean? Like Jamna picks him up, like runs over, like Halia's kind of in charge, picks him up by the shoulders. She's a gnome, and just like holding his head and like bringing him to a spot of like soft dirt. You know, maybe off to the side to begin like burying. But yeah, it's just a totally different dichotomy of the way Gariel is treating Pete compared to where these dudes are.
Okay.
I'm gonna see. I'm gonna if I can get the kid to get sort of comfortable, maybe give them something to eat, and then I'm gonna go over and find Silas and be like, Silas, can you does Tamora have like any kind of burial rites or something that you could maybe give the kid some closure?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So so you guys spend the time burying. You're going to perform a ritual over three, graves with, stones from the farm fence. Ding Dong Johnson brings him up. He's got loads of tools, so he just starts, digging, and he's getting like halfway through the dig, and you see him like, just exhausted. Anybody else want to help dig throughout
I'll
this
help.
process?
I have
Yeah.
basically
Okay.
full strength left. So
Oh, you do? Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, both of you make your strength checks as you guys are digging three graves prior to this thing.
Well, I mean, I didn't start out with strength, but I'll try.
Yeah.
I would
12.
like to do something though, but it's not digging.
Hey!
Yeah, Feilani, what would you like to do?
So can I tell if there's any like flower bushes or anything close by?
Yes. Yeah, you can.
Okay.
There's a beautiful flower garden in the front of the house. Like
Okay.
it's pretty
So
nice.
uh,
It's not wilted from the snow. You know how you get a frost
right.
in the evening? You can tell that they're kind of dipped over. You know what I mean? Like, but they were in bloom, like big rose petals or whatever. They were in bloom.
Okay. So I go and find ones that haven't blossomed, and I will cast a bloom on them, and I'll hand them to Jenny to where she can, put on her parents'
Jenny?
graves. Yeah.
Okay. You bring him over. Ignatius is, tending to her, whatever. You bloom two red roses and a very distinct black rose blooms. Never
I
like
I instantly take out the black rose and I put it behind my back, and I give the two red roses to her.
okay. Yep. And she takes them and she's like, "Mommy's roses," and she just looks up to you and
Hey! Give me that black one.
Not in front of the kid.
It's just a flower.
We will discuss it later. Not in front of the. Let her do this first. I'll give it to you later.
yeah. And she looks at both of you and like, and you guys are kind of like talking, and she just, she's probably like 6 or 7, and she hugs both of your knees from like both sides of you, and like tries to, and like bringing you together, and just like looks up, and she's got, like a little bit of dirt tears going on, and she's holding like a teddy bear, but just kind of looks up, and then goes back to, she takes the roses and then kind of tucks her head on Ignatius. But she's like, she's becoming, familiar with you, Feilani. If that you know what I mean, if that's the thing, like, yeah, she's
Yes.
pretty well at this point, tied off with Ignatius.
Don't
So the
understand
digging
why.
of the graves, what were the scores for the graves?
12.
12
I
and
got a 17. I rolled a nat 20, so I have a 17.
okay, yep. You guys dig and you start working together very well. Ding Dong Johnson's going there. Falcon picks up, and then after 2 or 3 hours, 3 more hours, it's getting to be the hot part of the day. The ground is very moist now from the snow melt, and you're able to get down in there. You get the graves going after, like, I'll say about 2.5 hours of solid digging, and then you pass off, and you can say a prayer if you want to, or I can hand wave. You give a, but I will say is make a religion check if
I would be happy to make a religion check as I talk about the power of Tamora and her goodness and her luck and how she looks at travel. And so one body going from one world to the next as she pushes them from one existence to another. And there's always going to be great skill, victory, and fortune and protection. So even though her parents are no longer here to protect her, they have gone off to the spirit world to protect somebody else.
It's very sweet. Now roll religion check because you want
11.
this is what you want to put into it. You know what I mean? Like I
11.
studied to be a DM, but how did I perform as a DM? What'd you get?
11. 11.
11? Yep. Yep. A very solid thing. And I told you, and Lady Gariel is sitting there as well, and she holds you by the wrist, and begins to pray as well. She bellows out a decent song of Timora, and lifts up, and because of the moisture in the air, a no kidding like rainbow begins to like form in the direction of Leylon.
And I also put a 4-leaf clover on
Okay.
each one.
Okay. Awesome.
Next to the flowers.
I'd like to say something as well. And
Yeah.
so I'm going to kneel down in between the graves and get down on one knee, and I'm going to like basically whisper, and I'm going to be speaking to Jormungandr, and
Okay.
and I'm going to say, "Great One, I would like, if it is your will, to send our slithering friends to watch over these bodies, make sure that as they decay and become one again with the earth, that they are protected from foul spirits that would bring them back."
Yep.
If
Make
that-
a make a religion check.
I rolled another nat 20.
Oh, nice.
Two in a row. I couldn't roll anything
Uh,
earlier.
Yeah.
So
you
20.
just as you're saying this, you can kind of see below the dirt, just like you know what I mean, like a hump of like something underneath the ground. You know what I mean, like as you say it. So like as kind of an acknowledgement that there is something that the world serpent, you know what I mean, like
Mhm.
has sent. Um, so Cervantes um, uh, and Brody, you were digging. A good sermon has been passed. Feilani um, and Ignatius are taking care of the child. You guys want to start a long rest?
Absolutely.
All right, it's about
Please.
midday. I will say that there was food cooking, and you can tell that Ginny says she's feeling hungry, and brings you guys to the stew. She's 6 or 7, but like she's a frontier kid, so she starts tending to the, you know what I mean, like to keep herself busy. She kind of shows you, how to get the stove like running with wood and things like that. You guys begin to start your long rest. What I will say is, this is session 3. You guys fought off 6 shadows, and if anybody goes into the monster manual to look at how tough those little boogers are, they're the goblins of the future for 2024 manual, and they are really tough. So you guys all feel through your sense of survival. You feel a little bit like Cervantes. You feel like you've gained a little bit better experience with your sword. You are two-handed fighting. Same with you, Silith. You've been able to call on magic, and it seems a little bit easier to you. Brody, you called upon your patron, and you saw a lump of a snake under the ground. Feilani, the same as you. You wanted to get something to blossom, but not only did a rose turn red, one turned black and stood up. That's something that's kind of strained for your druid cast. And Ignatius, you as well. Like fighting shadows, you became a little bit better as you guys all can advance your character sheets to level 2. And what we'll do throughout this long rest is, you guys will go in there and fiddle just a little bit through this, but going into manage character sheet and hitting whatever, it's only like 2 or 3 things you can do. What I will say is you can explore this. You can talk amongst your party and be like, hey, I feel like I'm shifting this way or that way to ask the group, or you can just be like, hey guys, I can now do X, and I'll kind of go through that as I talk about how the evening passes. So I'll go through this a little bit. You guys are with a very experienced ranger, and Falcon, despite the fact that you guys start setting up for the evening, and I know you guys are hard in the paint in your character sheets, so don't worry about this. This can be for the audience as well. As you guys are sitting there and you guys are just going through gruel, you're eating like you've never eaten before. Because some of you have had your DM Dave, nice dude. You guys are just eating like you have a pit in your stomach to gain your strength back. After a few hours, you feel yourself kind of snapping out of it, like that really bad hangover. I mean, maybe you guys don't drink or whatever, but like later on in the day, you're like, hey, you know what I mean? I can eat food again or whatever. Like you start coming out of the fog. And Falcon says the town is there's bodies everywhere, but they're not moving. I didn't get close enough because I have a weird sense about the bodies. But what I can say is I recommend we go around if there's that many.
Are we all there to hear that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, assuming she's not with me at the moment, I will let everyone know that Ginny mentioned that that storm that we felt a piece of when it rolled through here. That's what sort of killed her parents.
So
And-
when
And then they rose as shadows.
So how did she survive then?
I don't know.
was she inside when they were outside?
She's
I mean-
just Ginny is sound asleep. Like she has, you know what I mean? Like, and she's basically laying in Ignatius's lap as you guys are having this conversation. Like her feet are on Feilani's legs, and her head is in Ignatius's lap.
She didn't say.
Well, their bodies
Oh.
fell outside.
I didn't think to ask.
Ignatius, didn't you want to see this rose? And I hand him the black rose.
Yeah, I did want to see that. Can I
This
have
is-
this?
Yeah, no, I handed it to you.
I'm gonna like tuck it into my armor.
Okay.
I've never seen I've never seen a black a flower bloom black before. That's kind of strange. Are you sure you want to keep that?
You've never seen it before?
No.
Yeah, I very much would like to keep this.
Okay. It is yours.
Thank you.
Maybe it'll help you smell a little bit better. I don't know. You called me creepy swamp lady earlier. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry.
Keep your voice down. She's sleeping.
It smells like
Yeah.
Tempest in here.
You you hear just be like you hear
Oh, it's too soon.
lady, and then she kind of goes back to sleep.
It smells like victory in here.
Oh no, yeah. Yeah, so is there anything anybody else wants to accomplish? Falcon seems to have done a scout. You replied that there was about a lot of bodies. Doesn't say that there was any movement, but he stayed as soon as he saw the bodies. He's just got this weird sense that like the bodies could be a trap. Is all he says. He's just like, I just didn't want to go in there by myself, but there must have been at least 20 from what I saw. And that was just on this end of the town. I didn't want to get, you know what I mean? Like the road to Fanlin was open, but I didn't see any animals or anything. A lot of tracks of the animals went north.
North towards Neverwinter.
North towards Neverwinter. You can go around the town. And at that time, Eldon's just like talks to Falcon and was just like, I need an escort to get to Neverwinter, Falcon. And then he and Falcon just start talking to each other.
I'm going to go outside and start digging up turnips to replenish.
Okay.
To start to replenish my.
Yeah, it's like a full on garden out there. There are turnips, there's cabbages, there's onions, and just basic, anything you can kind of think of. Well refrigerated too. I mean, like, yeah, but they're all hanging there.
Yeah, so I'll just replenish my bag full of turnips and onions. I will grab a few onions too.
Is whose character sheet complete? Everybody? Nope. We got 2 more. All right. So Servanas, what has changed about your character?
So I've not a ton. I've got a little bit beefier, a few more hit points. But I also get I figured out how to basically do more combat during combat, getting an action surge, and then I can use if I can use second wind to add to an ability check instead of gaining hit points if I want to.
Okay.
So that's
Yep. So you're kind of going through that and you're thinking about ways that you could have done better in combat, and it just kind of clicks with you. You know what I mean? As you fall asleep, in your level 2 capacity for your 8-hour rest, right?
I learned
So
a new smite.
Oh, nice. Your strength comes back to you. Like, you can feel your strength coming back to you. Silith, anything change?
So, in dealing with all of this undead and trying to support my friends, my god has given me more spirit and strength to fight this kind of thing. So I now have channel divinity. So I have a divine spark where I can either heal people or do radiant or necrotic damage against things or turn undead.
Yep.
Also, another spell a day, and a thing that I have gained. One of my options is protection from evil and good. Again, as Tamora has looked down on me and seen that hard things are coming.
For your level up as well, having Sister Gariel there, she's kind of talking you through how to cast certain things and talks to you about channel divinity and stuff like that as well. Kind of, just as a mentor. Feilani, your hand went up. How did things change for you?
Well, hopefully I'll get to stay alive a little bit longer. I gained more hit points. I also gained a new spell for Find Familiar. So I also gained another spell slot. And I now am able to, I think it was beast change. I want to say that's right, but I'm not. Wild shape. I now have wild shape.
Yeah.
And I know
We
four.
can
And
call
I
it
know
beast
4 forms.
though. I like that. Yeah.
Wild shape. I know wild shape now. So now I know 4 forms that I can change into during combat.
What are the forms?
4 forms. Nice.
I think it is.
You don't have to be exact. So just so you guys know, anything that you click on right now, I'll give you to the next session to sort out. You know what I mean? But for this session, you're stuck with whatever. By the next session, you'll be like, I want to turn into a pigeon, not a duck. Like, all right, cool.
You'll know it when you see me turn into it.
Oh, fun. Okay, you want to keep it. Okay,
Nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, you can also say, I don't want to tell anybody. You know what I mean? Like what my character just did. We can kind of switch to that. Brody, how are you? Did you?
So I am. So I got a little bit more beefier. I am now able to tell a really good joke apparently and make people laugh and
Oh,
become yeah. So I can cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter in addition
nice,
to my
dude,
Witch
that's
Bolt.
yeah, that's
Um, yeah, so I can help a little bit with control because apparently I'm not really good at blasting. Although Yormander did bless me with a little bit of extra beefiness behind my Eldritch Blast because now I can do some agonizing blast. And I, I've got a third uh, Eldritch Invocation that I need to pick. I think right for now I'm just going to go with Eldritch Mine, to give me
Yep.
advantage on con saves.
yeah, nice.
So
I did too. I got meta magic or something as a sorcerer, and Pete, you know what I mean? We were like, yeah, just use whatever for this round, and then you can switch it by the next one. And Jeremy slash Ignatius, any changes as you're kind of sitting there at the table?
I think maybe the mark on his hand has become a little more defined, and it looks like a black rose.
Okay. Oh, okay. So I know what class you're taking. Okay, Russia. Okay. Um, and with that gift, yep, the mark takes the rose that you had, right? Um, just sinks into you and makes it more colorful, as that's the second rose you've taken.
Okay, I like that.
Super tight. Um, as this kind of happens, though, throughout the evening, I would say, Ginny has like sleeping in your lap. She has a little bit of a restless sleep. Is something that you can kind of pick up on. But you guys all sleep through the night. A nice, safe first long rest of the campaign. And you guys, you do notice your strength has completely come back to you. Not during the first couple hours, but after 8 hours of strong rest, you guys wake up and you're fully restored of your strength. The bodies did not change. No shadows grew out of the graves or dude.
Good.
Well, that's good. That's good to
Sister
know.
Gariel and Falcon, you wake up in the morning. Nobody did any real checks. You do know. Um, yeah, you guys wake up in the morning. We'll say I'll pick one. Cervantes, you go outside to check on Tabby, and you notice that Falcon and Eldon Keyword are gone. They had left. Gariel is out there in the wagon.
Uh,
Like
I'll ask her. Do you know where the where Falcon and where they went off to?
they wanted to travel light. Eldon said something about needing to continue his work and used, you know what I mean, used their. He just convinced Falcon to take him north. They took another one of the horses and they rode. This was going to be their departure point, anyways. I couldn't argue with them, but I'll tell you, if this town it doesn't have anybody alive in it, then these supplies need to go to somebody. And I would, you know what I mean, like. I think I would like to go to Phandalin.
I wonder what's happened to Phandalin if this has happened to Leylon.
I agree. I have a great deal of friends there. Halia and Jamna are already in their wagon, like kind of like waiting. Cervantes, Tabby seems, you know what I mean, like fine. Brody, what would you like to do?
I'm just gonna walk around. I'm gonna ask the little girl Jenny, is there anything that you would like to take with you from here? I don't know if you'll be coming back anytime soon.
She kind of stays near Phalani and Ignatius as she wakes up as well. And she points at like some apples for breakfast, and she's like, yeah, it's just, you know what I mean? She's like, breakfast?
Okay,
Hungry.
I'll go pick
Yeah.
some apples and
Okay.
bring them to her.
Okay,
then-
yeah, she takes,
Yeah.
she starts eating the apples, and just it's the juices and stuff are spilling all over Ignatius's lap, but she's just, eating there, and you get the sense that she's kind of found her security blanket, and she's not really getting too far from Ignatius and Feilani, but she's like eating the apples, and she's when an apple's bigger than her head, and she's just like nomming on it.
Cool.
But other than that, yeah, is there anything else you want to do?
No, I'm just gonna start, hitching up, helping hitch up the horses and get ready to go.
Okay. Silith.
So of course, I'll try to after Brody, gives the apples to the little girl and he starts working on the horses. I'm actually gonna go sneak over to him since we were blasting the bodies together and we've been casting spells together, and I'm gonna lean in and try to whisper to him a little bit. When we woke up in prison, I had a crazy dream, and part of that was the shadows falling over the city near the Sword Coasts and laying frost everywhere. What I'm trying to connect to that is the spinning multicolored wheel that I'm wondering if that's the necklace that we've noticed being spun around by Sister Gariel, and I'm not sure. Don't be muted.
You're not muted. No,
No,
just,
he is.
I apparently I'm not very observant. I didn't even notice that she was spinning her necklace around.
We
yeah,
spent
you
a
can
lot of
see she's wearing a green straight up dress with like an acolyte's robe or rope around her waist, and then she's got a religious symbol around her neck, and it is a circle with like pies of the rainbow around it, and when she's kind of talking, she can like spin it.
because I
Do you-
spent most of the night with her talking
Yeah.
lyrical stuff as she was going through stuff, and when I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing, I tend to mess
Yep.
with my religious symbol, which is a coin with a four-leaf clover on it. She seems to do the same, and it was one of those Parcheesi or whatever or Trivial Pursuit toys.
Yeah, exactly,
What
exactly. It
basically
just
is what I'm
spins.
thinking. So
Do you
I
think she's the key to defeating the shadow?
I mean, I do believe in her as a clear of Chimera also, but I don't know. The connection is uncanny with the dream. It definitely was a foretelling of something, and there was way more to the dream that is very confusing that I haven't seen any connection of. But I think we're in for a very interesting trip here. I don't think this is the relaxing drop off, you know, goods and bring goods back and simple, helping out gloop gloop. I think there's way more to it than this.
Droop, droop.
I mean, I had a
Yeah, go ahead.
no. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, Jeremy, I'll get to how your character advanced after they're done talking.
That's okay.
I don't think you have. Okay.
Well, I was gonna just say I had a dream as well, but there was a great kraken fighting a snake, and then there was like this giant shadow that funneled into a ring of frost, and there was a portal that opened up, and a child was lifted up into the portal, but I don't know if that would it could be the ring of frost, that shadow and a ring of frost, but I don't know what the kraken and the great snake have to do with anything other than when I first saw the snake, I felt, oh, that makes sense for me, but
Well, you have the snakes around your arms, right?
Right,
So
yeah.
I feel you're connected there potentially and helping to defeat some horrible
Right.
creature that might be in our future.
right.
Are you guys by yourself having this conversation? Like, where are you
Yeah,
talking
we're
about
out.
this?
we're kind of out getting the horses and stuff ready.
Okay.
That's where I was
Oh,
at.
another raid. Thanks, Folk and Myth.
Oh, hey.
Appreciate it.
What's up, Lee?
You.
So, but yes,
Um,
because we have a connection, casting spells, things like that. That's why I'm kind of going back and forth with him, because I know he's also arcane and
Yeah. And we both have similar parallel, powers that come from a higher power, or abilities that come from a higher power. Although they focus in different ways. Maybe separate sides of the same coin.
ooh.
Well, I will keep what you said in mind.
And Ignatius, do you have anything new?
I have a packed weapon now, so I've bonded with my short sword.
Okay.
So I'm maybe trying that out, like
Okay.
hiding it under a wagon, walking away, and like summoning it to my hand and things
Seeing
like that.
if it comes to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You'll just have to describe it, during some time. But if it works in your character sheet, it works exactly the way your agency wants to do it. Thanks so much for the raid, guys. This is awesome. And Phoenix, I've been watching your channel for a really long time. It's really cool that you're in chat right now. That's awesome. So sorry, having a fanboy moment. But anyways, so okay, so the two of you are having the discussion about your dreams. Cervantes, you were talking to Sister
Tabby
Dariel about
and Tabby.
Yep. Yep, to Tabby. And Feilani, what would you like to do? Because it's back to you and Ignatius kind of at the table. So the two kind of spellcaster bros go outside. They're having a, discussion. Cervantes is, talking to what you guys think is kind of the leader maybe of the wagon train right now, like Sister Gariel. She's kind of a higher priest. But what would the two of you guys like to do? You've been sitting in one spot, kind of sore back, but you got a nice long rest because the child's been sleeping. You know what I mean? Like she'll like flip, to one lap and then flip to the other. You know what I mean? Sleeping like a kid, all night long, but holding her teddy bear and stuff like that. But she wakes up and eating her apple, hanging out next to you guys. What would you like to do? We'll go with Feilani. What would you like to do?
I'm kind of just sitting there, trying to keep Jenny happy, trying to keep her mind off things, about what happened to her parents, about what they were doing to her dad after the fact.
Yep.
And I'm wanting to talk to Ignatius about, what we plan to do with Jenny, because of course she can't come with us. I'm trying to come up with all these conversation starters but Jenny is so attached to it. She's like a little Velcro child now.
Well, why can't she come with us?
Do you really want a kid traveling with us after what we just went through, after what she just saw her parents go through?
Well, it can't be any better to leave her alone.
No, I know that, but she can't come with us. We need to find her a place where she'll be taken care of.
Well, we're going to that town, right? The Fandolin, whatever it's called.
Yes.
Well, we're not going to just ditch her on the side of the road before Fandolin, right?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying we need to find someone who is willing to take her in and take care of her. Because she cannot travel with us.
Well, we're traveling to Fandolin.
After Fandolin. After we get to Fandolin, we have our own missions to accomplish, and she can't come with us.
I didn't think we had a plan past Fandolin. Did we?
Yeah. I would assume we did. I mean, I do. I'm not speaking for the group, but I do.
Let's just get to Fandolin first.
Okay. I don't want to traumatize her any more than she's already been traumatized.
Yeah, but I mean, we can't leave her anywhere, so like, we might as well take her to Fandolin with us.
No, I mean when we get to Fandolin, she can't. I don't see her staying with this group. You know, this is not a one place stay group. This is a traveling group.
But I thought we were supposed to go to Fandolin and talk to that person for the goblin, and then our job is done, right? Then we can all go our separate ways.
Okay, so you're gonna take a child with you after we go our separate ways?
I don't know. Maybe.
This is good.
Well, then I'll let you cross that bridge.
Are
when
you
we
saying
get
I'm
to
not
it.
fit to take the child?
Oh, this is a turn. This is nice.
From the information that I have gathered from you, no, you are not. You are the last person I would ever let this child stay with.
And this is
Well-
probably where she wakes up from the breakfast, as like you guys start like, you know what I mean, like, and that's where Cervantes walks in and gives her, you know what I mean, the apple, because you guys start getting heated, and she looks at both of you guys, wakes up, eats the apple, you know, and she just snuggles in between the two of you, like takes one snuggle to one side and one snuggle like to the other, but yeah, she's
I
just kind of.
I just keep looking at Feilani with like death glare, like.
Yeah, so the wagons are set. Where would you guys like to head? Sister Gariel is clearly like, you know, I talked to Falcon, and there is a path where we can hit the road to Tribor if we head in, you know what I mean, like the northwest direction and go around the town. It is my assessment that the town could be very dangerous. We've walked across some of the bodies, and they would burst into shadow. So I don't, you know what I mean? She's like, if you want to go in there, she's like, I wouldn't recommend it. I'll be moving towards Fandolin.
We'll go with.
That's our end goal. That's where we need to go. We'll go to Vandalin.
Okay, so you guys want to mount up and head, you know, in the first light and head towards Fandolin?
Yes.
Brody?
Whenever we get to Fandolin, I mean, we can't just leave Leyland the way it is. I'm not saying we should do something about it now, but anyone who comes up the road is going to get killed by the shadows, and there's going to be more shadows made because of that. We need to send help. Somebody needs to go.
That's of course. You know, Sister Gariel's like, absolutely. We need to see how far the damage has gone, and the next closest town we can either go towards back through the swamp. Or we can go to Fandolin and check on the town. Kara is the sheriff there. Maybe we can find something out.
Okay.
There are, you know, it was a well protected town in the past. There was a fort there, but it hasn't been manned for a long time. But there are guards and things like that. But I feel that I want to know if the world is over. And I want to, you know, and that's the closest place we can go to.
I agree. I think we should avoid the town now. We're not equipped to take on such, you know, what could be a very large force of creatures that we're not ready to, you know, ready or equipped to handle. So
I put my hand on his shoulder and I go, "That's a side quest for another day, sir."
all right.
You all, you know, mount up, you move the wagons across a bit of like a farm. So it's just, you know, the wheels are bouncing in the divots of you know, where the trenches of, you know, where you're laying seeds or whatever for a little bit. It's a little rocky. Ignatius, as soon as Falani or Ignatius like kind of split up to go to different places, she instantly grabs one or the other's hands.
Yeah.
To
No,
hold.
because Feilani was going to ask Jenny which wagon she wanted to ride in, and I was gonna go with her.
Yeah, so she's just like with you guys, and wherever Ignatius goes, and she would just innocent kid stuff reach out towards Feilani, to go into that direction. So you and Ignatius go to. I'm assuming Ignatius, you want to go to the back.
The back wagon is the safest wagon.
Yep. Jamna and Halia are in there. There's various goods. In their thing, you see Minex written on the side. And then you see, they move the goods for, I believe it was like shell bucks or whatever is the supply, the last wagon that's available for Ding Dong Johnson, and the logger supplies.
Ding Dong.
And it's like, yeah, I just figured it's Don John Raskins, but has anybody ever said something that ruins a word for you? And in like last season, they made fun of this guy and came up with Ding Dong Johnson, and it stuck with me.
Every time you
Forever.
say Don John Baskin, I just think of Carol Baskin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this guy is Gus Chiggins. He's Gus Chiggins from Saturday Night Live. Like, sugar biscuits. You leave the prospect into me. And he's, starts singing a song despite all the horrors that has happened, because he's talked to you about were rats and all sorts of stuff. Like, this isn't the first scrap he's been in. And you guys begin to move on towards Fandlin. It's about a half day goes by, and as you guys like turn around and you leave the town, Ignatius, you're kind of looking out the back. As you get probably about a kilometer from the town, where you would think every body would be, shadows stand up out of the bodies, and you can like visibly look back. They all take the shape of like Ginny, and just stare at you as you like. And there's probably 20, and as you look, there's about another 5 or 6 on the north side of town, and then you see more in the back, and they all just like they're not doing anything. They just like sit there and like stare at you guys as you go off into the
I'm gonna
distance.
sort of like look about and see if other people see that.
Yeah, Feilani's with you. You can tap her on the shoulders. You look back, and you see the shadow standing up out of the bodies.
Why aren't they moving towards us?
Maybe they can't.
They're probably like 100, 500 feet, you know what I mean, like away from you guys. They're just standing there and just
So
doing nothing.
I kind of like get his attention without getting Jenny's attention, and I'm like pointing over her. I'm like, you think it's her? you think the child has something to do with it?
No. No, I don't think so.
You
Yeah,
see
we
John
could tell.
being like, what are you guys on about? Little gnome, you know what I mean? Like red hair, pretty pointed ears for a gnome, but like she's like, what are you guys talking about back there?
We're just having our own little conversations back here.
Okay.
Nothing
and
important.
she just goes back to talking to Halia about like some business plans and schemes and stuff.
But you said the shadows look like Jenny, right?
Take the shape of her. Like as you guys are seeing this, they're all taking the shape. And I would say the distinctive figure is their hand goes up and there's like a bear, and they're just kind of waving the bear up. But it's a shadow.
So I look back at Ignatius. I'm like, you say it doesn't have anything to do with her, but they look like her.
You can do anything in Dungeons and Dragons. You can roll an insight check. You can do religion. You can do survival. You can do whatever. The rest of the party is kind of, 2 of them are riding horses. And where is Silith? Are you in this cart as well? Are you in the back cart or with Gariel?
I would probably be with Gariel.
Okay.
This part.
She's just somber.
Can I make an insight check on Ginny to see if I think she has.
Absolutely.
I,
Absolutely.
I would also like to make one.
Yep, you guys can both yeah, you guys can both work together. You both kind of stare at her a little bit and kind of give this thing. Um
I got a 12.
okay.
I got a 19.
Okay. You guys look and as you're like, is this her? You know, she she begins to like lay her head on your lap, Feilani, and puts her feet up on Ignatius, and you just get this sense that this is a good kid. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you probably get the sense that you've seen it before, where these creatures mock you in very painful ways, like when you saw Pete come back as a shadow, that they like to, they're evil. You know what I mean? And they're whatever it is, just probably trying to get in your head.
Fine.
Well, I mean, if they're not going to attack us, then I guess we don't really have anything to worry about. I will keep an eye out and look and see if any of them move closer as we move along.
Okay. The farther you get away, the shadows just kind of like slowly go back down into the, like, it looked like they just like go low. You know, like the horizon, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, you know, like it just, it was like the 1-2 feet tall that they were standing, like you just can't see them anymore. They hold their position more as like a warning or something, like a, you know what I mean, like a dare. Um, and you guys keep pressing. You guys move for the better half of the day until you hear Ding Dong Johnson say, "There it is," and you see a signpost. You guys break towards the north, towards the south, towards the Sword Mountains again. You travel across. The snow is gone. You notice that there is just hay, kind of, in tall grass, blowing in the wind after a little bit. It's almost like a solid line of demarcation of where the snow and things like that were. And then you just kind of travel into, you know, fairer weather. The 85 degrees returns. You know, it becomes a cloudless days. You guys turn south towards Fandolin. As I mentioned, you know, think of, you know, 4,000-foot peak, soft looking mountains. Some you see off to the left as you're facing south. One, you know, solid snowy peak off to the east, and you move into the town where there's, you know, taller deciduous trees. You begin to see break out like two watchtowers loom over a a newish, you know, fence line that goes around a town, but it doesn't look completely fixed yet. But it's like a, you know, they were beginning to work on it. Matted grass outside of the town from probably a recent festival or a campground. You can barely hear birds through the pounding of like hammers on wood. A new bustling town. You see roofs being patched and houses painted as villagers sing together. All the terror behind you is lifted with the aura of this happy town. The town center has a bubbling new fountain and an incomplete statue. Some craftsmen's working on it. Some buildings have scaffolding with bustling carpenters kind of moving around, dudes with maps and kind of pointing. An inn commands the center of the town, giving shade to a nearby farmer's market. A temple bell rings almost like on cue as you guys arrive, like a big church dong dong as you see this steeple rising high. Uh, the temple bell rings beautifully at the hour, with the sun shining from the east, putting a glow on the Sword Mountains. An old man in loose chainmail, looking like one of those doughboy type helmets, uh, stands with a spear in the middle of the town next to a bulletin board. Several permanent businesses line the street until cottages in the back and small family dwellings give way to a distant star fort with its first demi-lune, you know, on a distant hill. Grass growing high around this bastion of a fort, giving way to a memory of, you know, previous things or growth that was needed that's not needed anymore. And heads are bobbing, and you know, you go into town with your stuff, and people just look at you like regular merchants coming in. You had like 8 or 10 wagons, there's 2 left. You know what I mean? And you know, various people kind of nod. I built Fandolin over here, so we'll go Cervantes. What would you like to do while I adjust cameras a little bit?
Whew. Man, looking into town, I'll look back to Gariel's like, this is where are we delivering this stuff to?
Okay. Yeah, 1 second. Let me just hit down arrow on this thing real fast. I need a key grip. I just don't have the budget. D. Time check. Okay, cool. Tight. Wrong way.
Oh, Fandolin's gotten bigger.
Yeah, Fandolin changes every single time that you see it. Much like Salt Marsh when we play there. It's going to look drastically different, but it's the same Salt Marsh. It's just, I'm always in a rush. So, yeah, Sister Gariel is just like, well, I think we just pull it up into the, I never really thought about that. I think we just pull it up into the center of the market. And she's like, that looks like drone footage. Yeah. Nice drones, not evil drones. Yeah. So, she just points off, you know, like, I think maybe I'll do the talking, I guess, you know. And she waves and she's like, is Kara in town? You know, she gets out like in the market and goes to the square, and you know, strangers are sitting there. She's like, is Darren, or where's Kara, or you know. And then she just kind of gets lost in people and like muttering, but you could see her pointing towards the various stuff, and people start like walking up to all the goods, like the carpenters, because there's tons of wood that was supposed to go to Leyland for, you know, modest things. Are like, oh yeah, and you know, dudes just start walking up and just grabbing handfuls of 2x4s and just, you know what I mean, like throwing them on their back. And it's almost, you know what I mean, like, the way she put these are like resupply supplies. They're like kind of free, and it gets out of hand. You see Halia move her cart directly to a store that's called Mine X. And you know, she's just like, hey, this is, you know, she looks back at the two of you, Feilani and Ginny. She's like, hey, this is where you guys get off. Like, we gotta, our you know what I mean, like our store's over there, but feel free to shop at Mine X, if you want to. Jamna looks at you also, Ignatius, you know, and gives you a nod and kind of rolls her eyes at Halia, like, you know, she's a bit gruff.
Okay.
But yeah, you guys are in the center of town. As I mentioned, Sister Gariel just kind of like immersed herself with the merchant, and then she comes back, you know, to Brody. Where are you at?
I'm just dismounting, and I'm walking my horse up to, I guess, the inn, and I'm just gonna tie him up.
Okay.
And
you bring it up, and there's a dude there, and he's got like a bit of chaw in his mouth, and he's like, hey, what brings y'all to, and he's got the chainmail on, and he's standing next to the signpost, or not the signpost, like the, what's it called, like a bulletin board.
yeah,
And he's like, what brings you to Fallon? What brings
But
you
we
all that
were-
stuff? What's going on there? Looks like everybody just,
we have this with this contract, the Stronghold contract. We were escorting these folks from down south to Fandolin, and then you know we were supposed to link up with Cara Dune,
Cara Dune. Well, that's my boss.
Okay.
I here am deputized by Sheriff Dune. She had left, and he taps to the sign, and he's just like, you can see there's like 4 or 5, like pieces of paper sitting there. And she's like, you're on a Stronghold contract. Am I right? That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, and he points up the hill, and he's like, oh, the folks that built that fort. You gotta say you you're all part of Stronghold. She's gonna want to see that contract to believe you.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Me,
yeah.
you're like me. I'm just here. And well, I mean, if you're looking to help, and he taps the sign. He's like, I'm a mite too old for some of these missions, but she left a note right there, and she kind of
Oh,
like taps the side of it.
I'm gonna look at the sign and see what kind of tasks and missions are posted.
Sure. So you walk up to that. I'll cut back to that. Silith, you see, you know what I mean? Like you see Cervantes ask Ariel, what's going on. She kind of walks up, gets lost in the crowd. What would you like to do?
I'm just trying to stick with the party. Figured out what our next move is now that we're here. I mean, it's like one of those horror movies where you survive the night and then like all the people come around and they're like, "Oh, everything's great," and everybody just kind of like, looking like they just saw death, and you're like, "Oh my god, they have no idea what's
Yep,
going
they
on."
have no idea.
Yeah,
You don't need to
yeah,
do a perception check. This is
yeah,
Happy Town. You know
yeah.
what I mean? And nobody is the wiser. Whatever,
Welcome
you know what I mean? Like, I'll let you guys
Rock.
perceive and study how you guys wish, but yeah. Anything else,
Yeah.
anything in particular other than that, like you're taken aback by that.
Well, I'm trying not to look overwhelmed and like
Okay.
look like the horror on my face, or like I'm just trying to blend in a
Yeah.
little bit with all of this.
Yep. Okay. Yep. So you're taking it in. What I will say while you're taking it in, you do see various stores and stuff like that. This is a very like a market town, and what you're picking up is this is the edge of the frontier town. This is the town that people go and gather stuff to either go hit them mountains or like head into the Great Neverwinter Forest or do whatever and kind of have their way. But this looks like one of a booming, not necessarily like a mining town, but maybe a mining town. But people make their way off this being the last gas station down that 4-hour drive down the turnpike. You know what I mean? Uh, okay, so Feilani, you're there with Ginny. I will say, with your passive insight between you and Ignatius, she ducks down like new people. Leylon is a smaller 10 house kind of village, right? This is a bigger town. There's maybe 40 to 50 buildings in this area. It used to be smaller, but it blew up. Figuratively.
So I'll kind of like put my hand supportively on her back and pat her on the back and tell her it's okay. There's just a lot of people here. No need to get scared. And then I kind of want to go to where Brody went just to hear the conversation about what's going on over there.
Okay, so you hop out and you walk towards. Of course, you know, uh, you know, she's hanging tight onto Ignatius, and you go and she grabs a little bit onto you, and then kind of lets go, but stays with Ignatius because he's in the, you know what I mean? He's near the start point, right? Like she's not wanting to spread out. You walk up towards Brody, and you hear this old man with like some dip in his mouth, kind of describing something about deputies and sheriffs, and taps the notes on the wall. And I'll cut to the notes when I go back to Brody. Ignatius, what would you like to do? You're there. She kind of walks off, and Ginny's,
I'll ask the-
you know what I mean, like
Yeah,
stays
I'll
with
ask
you.
you, have you ever been to this town before? Did your parents ever bring you here?
No, I don't go to Fandon, but I know of Fandon.
What do you know about it?
Very nice people.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. Well, why don't you and I go have a look around?
Okay. And she points and there's like, like like fruit baskets and stuff like that in the market, and you know what I mean, like subject to candy. You know what I mean? Hey, it's my Dungeons and Dragons. There is a candy. You know what I mean? Like there's a candy vendor selling taffies and stuff like that.
I will go buy some taffy.
Okay, you're gonna hang out there. Yeah, you exchange. It's no more than a copper. You know what I mean? So you don't even need to draw that out of your. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you can if you want to, but like.
Yeah, I'm going to
for
buy
a
a pretty
copper-
good supply of it.
Oh, okay. You get a gold piece and you get a.
If it's good, like if I I ask the vendor if I can try it, and if it's good, then
Yeah, it's good stuff.
okay. So I'll like drop a silver piece. If it's 1 copper a piece, I'll take. You know,
All right.
who doesn't like taffy?
So you buy a bunch of it.
Yeah,
So you basically spoil Ginny, and she's even more.
I'm eating
So
it too.
this
Let's
is-
be clear. I'm eating too.
Okay, yeah. So you guys both sit down and eat candy, but this is not going well for you not to be like to depart from this individual. So she's pretty bonded with you, and she's playing and giggling. And I'd say Feilani, you feel a sense of comfort because she starts. You see her just like chocolate and candy all over her face, and Ignatius is for being a tough murderer, doing a pretty solid job over here. On the wall itself, you see in almost like coal, right? Like written out. It's been busy, and I could use some help. I'm off on my usual patrol, but we'll be back shortly. In the meantime, if you're looking for a bit of action, grab one of these tasks below. 100 gold pieces each, and an extra 50 gold pieces you take more than one. Free room and board with Toblin. And then there are two like pieces of paper underneath it, and then one piece of paper over top of the other two, and it looks like super old, like it's been there for a while. Right, like I'm just describing the bulletin board. I'm not trying to be dark and like broody.
Okay.
It doesn't have a black rose on it. It
Okay.
just
So there's one sheet of paper that's kind of like
there's
you would have to
two
lift it up.
new ones that have a K on them,
Oh, okay.
and then there's one underneath it.
I want to look at the old one first.
Okay, so you pull out that one, and it's got an HW on the bottom of it, and it says, "Look, someone please take this. We need as a community to look into the loggers camp. Supplies have gone out long ago with no return. Please check on the well-being of Tiber Wester. Ask Barthen for directions if you need to." And I'll type this out and send it to you guys. But it's been there for quite some time. And Genna's like, ain't nobody been to the logger camp in a long time. Let me tell you what.
Why
I
has
think
nobody
they're
gone
good-
out
I
there?
think those folks are good as dead if nobody came out of there.
Why has no one gone to check on them?
Giants, sir.
Oh, right. Well, I mean that's not an issue anymore, right?
Thank you for the supplies. Once the town starts getting new recruits, more deputies, and he taps your chest, maybe we'll get some folks to, get this region back under control. I sure hope you guys are part of Stronghold. Kara's going to be super happy to have some help around here.
Just as he says that, I walk up. It's like, "Hail, friend! I am Sir Cervantes, the twice blessed, bearer of the sacred code, defender of the meek, bane of misplaced furniture and scourge of slight injustices, knight errant of the western winds, founder of the unofficial order of the glorious elbow, and first champion of the turnip trials of '08, devoted follower of Sir Timothy Algondar. May his beard forever shimmer in the light of Tyr. This, the oath clasp of Algondar himself. Yes, stamped by destiny and a very enthusiastic child, I believe."
I'm gonna look
You're
over at
supposed to
Feilani and I'm just gonna whisper in her ear. And I was like, his introduction keeps getting longer and longer.
I'm actually wondering how many of these titles are real and how many are made up.
Oh, I don't think any of them are real. I've
Well,
I've come to believe.
we got
I've come to
ourselves a
believe.
paladin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's
Well,
great.
I say to Birdie, I'm like, I think the one about Sir Tim is real, but the other ones, I'm just not really so sure about.
Yeah.
You can hear this. Cervantes, you're saying that you can hear.
I just stand like proud. Where can I find Sir Darren?
Darren. And he points and he's like, well, he retired up in that lodge up there. And there's like a one-story, like long stone lodge with nice hay and grass thatch and a beautiful like garden and stuff. It's your typical retired veteran taking care of his own business. You know what I mean? Like up on the hill. And just to the east of town, there's one, you know what I mean, very nice like lodge up there. And he's like, yeah, he lives there, he keeps to himself. He'd be happy to talk to you.
I have some
and
questions
there's
for
the
him.
two other Feilani, there are two more, sheets underneath it, and they've got KD underneath it. Like tasks.
I'll look at both of them.
All right, so the first one that you grab says, someone go check on Umberto. He's been gone for almost a 10-day. He was supposed to return in only a few days. He's off exploring or excavating a nearby crypt and ruined cemetery. Ask Darren for directions. He knows what this is about. The next one. Pesky priests of Talos. Someone saw a wild boar acting suspicious by Umbridge Hill. Be careful. If it's one of them anchorites, they can be kind of spicy.
So I asked about the first one. I asked why was he going to go to the crypts or the graveyards? Why was he heading that way?
Can't tell you. He was a short guy, well dressed actually. Old Umberto, very snappy. Brought all sorts of boxes and devices, and seemed like he wanted to. I mentioned I know he went into the Stone Hill Tavern. You know what I mean? And he points. He's like, old Toblin probably stayed with him. He stood in this inn here. He probably knows a bit more. He spoke to Kara just a little bit when he got here to get permission to be running around on grave sites or whatever. So if anybody knows anything, in the inn.
But why would the note say ask Darren if Toblin knows more?
Oh. And he grabs it and he reads it because the DM's stupid and he's like, oh yeah, well, I don't know. Darren probably knows where the shrine is.
Okay.
Toblin would know why the individual is in town. Darren knows where it's at.
Okay. I thank you for clarifying.
Yeah.
Looks
If
like
you
we
look
have.
at rumors, it's in that place. If you're looking to where to go, it's that place.
Okay.
I look at Feilani. It's like, looks like we have we're both looking for Darren.
Looks like it. I don't know what to make of this third one. Pesky animals? I don't. That one doesn't sound.
Pesky priests of Talos? Oh, well, those little stinkers, they showed up here not too long ago looking like boars. They turned into dudes and electrocuted folks. I'll tell you what, if it weren't for the last party that came through here, like real brave lads, they put a whooping on them half-orcs. But, thing of the past is the ordering seems to be restored. But, hey, gotta clean up the town. You can get a sense of what's a side quest. You know what I mean? Like, he's just like, yeah. So if you watch the last campaign, the Anchorites of Talos were kind of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the logger camp is.
So it goes to say, I left the old things that the party didn't take. They're still on the board. Does that make sense? Yeah. So we do, just for the audience or whatever, we were redoing Phandalin. So if they didn't take a task, the tasks are still there. It's still a problem.
I love it. I was like, oh, that logger camp. Yeah.
I went back through the very first time you guys were Phandalin, but you guys took all the tasks because you guys were metagaming so hard to get XP and stuff that you're like, we'll do it all side quests before you went forward. But the second time through, you're like, fuck it. I know that this is the direction, so you guys sped through. But anyways, those are the tasks right there. What would you guys like to do? Got a few minutes.
I take all the tasks.
Oh, you're taking all the tasks. All right.
Oh yeah,
Why not?
I'm with her.
Why
I
not?
agree. We're gonna do all of them.
Okay. And he's like, well, if you want to talk to Darren, it's he's right up there. It's it's mid-afternoon, so he's probably up tending to his goats. Well, you guys want goats, you get goats.
I want
pesky
goats.
priest. I'll tell you where Umbrage Hill is. You can ask Sister Gariel. She came with you. I know that Adbara Gwyn is from there. She, sells various pots and potions for health and whatnot. But hey, man, if they're saying that there's a boar out there, it'd probably be a good idea to get some services to old Eldara. Adbara, whatever the hell her name is. Other than that, oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, but Filani, but before we run off on clearing out boar and checking out logger camps and stuff, but like, shouldn't we turn in our contract and get paid? I mean, we were gonna get paid to bring somebody, escort these folks up here, and then I think we're owed some money. I think.
No, you were absolutely right. We are owed money. We need to turn this contract in, and it can be written off that it has been completed. And we go take on these tasks, these side quests.
Well, let me see. He's like, may I see this contract? Maybe I can point you in the right direction. Because Kara's gone. I don't know when she's gonna be back, but that's a good way to make money. Because she's got it. She's a sheriff, the interim mayor. Now we do have an election going. This all.
Where is? But wait, you said Kara's gone. Where is she?
She went out on patrol.
You know how long it's gonna take her to come back?
She'll be back in about 3-4 days, maybe less. Shouldn't be out that long.
Did she go south or north or which way did she go?
He just like looks at the ground. Maybe next time I'll ask.
Did she say anything about heading towards Leylon?
Well, I don't think she'd go that far. I mean, she's the sheriff of this town.
Right. I just didn't know if she was out on patrol. She could have.
She could have gone to any one of those spots. I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. Do you know how far out she normally patrols? Is it?
Oh,
I'm trying to get an idea.
The last person she talked to was Darren, so yeah, he just starts looking. She's like, I mean, if you're looking to get paid, I have the lockbox, and he's like, he points at like the town hall, and he's like, but you'd have to complete the tasks first. I wouldn't be doing my job.
No, that's fine. I just some stuff was happening out near Leylon and some bad weather and such, and I just was worried if she was headed that direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
You said you could help us. If we showed you our contract, you could help us where we need to go to get rewarded.
Sure.
Do you have it, Brody?
No, I don't have it. I think
He grabs his contract. He's like,
I think so.
"Ooh."
Oh.
He's like, never learned to read, but that sure does look fancy. I gotta believe you.
Can you count money?
Sure can. Sure can.
I think that's all we're worried about as far as that goes.
Yeah.
Isn't that right, Ignatius? Or is Ignatius there? No. Yeah, he is. Okay.
I think I'm buying candy.
Oh,
I
okay.
can.
Maybe
Well,
I've come over by then.
Can I take y'all up to Darren, or you guys want to get some lodging?
I think we need to go talk to Darren.
All right. Yeah. So he.
So if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
What's the plan here, everybody?
I
We're
think
gonna go.
I think two things. I think
Because weren't we just supposed to come here? Like our job's done, right?
Yeah, we got to turn in the
How-
contract and get paid.
And this guy doesn't know how to read.
We were told if we wanted to stay on contract, we can continue to get paid.
right.
100 gold
Yeah.
a month.
Or so we can either. Well, first off, we need to go talk to Darren for one of these quests if we want to go do it. So that's one thing. But also, Darren, from talking to Gariel, is probably going to know about these shadows, from what she said. So that's kind of two things that we need to find out. But if Kara is the one that needs to pay us, and she's going to be 3 to 4 days, then we probably have time to go do some of these quests till she gets back.
That makes sense.
We can get some money until she returns.
Business?
Hmm?
Is this really our business?
Getting paid?
Weren't we just supposed to check on somebody?
Kara.
We were supposed to check to see what kind of help that Kara needed in town, and apparently there's a bulletin board full of tasks that she needs people to help with. So.
And she's
We
not
wanna
here for us
continue.
to ask her if she's, you know, how she is, so
As
I mean,
stuff my
unless you want to
candy in.
live, unless you want to laze around for the next 3 to 4 days, you can be our guest.
I mean, if you want to play daddy, you can go play daddy all you want.
I mean, we were also. I think we were also supposed to possibly escort Kara to Waterdeep.
Yeah, potentially, but we gotta wait for her. So
Right.
Geno's just the guy in the hat's just staring there, looking at you guys. You know what I mean? As you're talking, he's just nodding.
Okay, then.
Where's the
No.
best place to stay, sir?
Oh, well, yeah, Toblin's. Honestly, I mean, you probably take this contract with this cool little star on it and show it to him. I mean, he'll believe you. Who'd you guys come with? He's like, you guys came with Mr. Johnson. He's actually been trying to get to that loggers camp.
Ding Dong's been trying to get to the camp.
That was one of his original tasks when he came here. Yeah, he's trying to go to the loggers camp to deliver supplies, but he probably turned that around. I don't know what happened with him. He ended up with those Daisy and Daryl, and yeah,
Where rats?
I'm not sure what happens. Not sure what happens. You guys gonna go to the inn and rest?
Should we go secure lodging and then go talk to Darren?
I think
Let's
so.
do that. Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
Okay.
Well, you guys will go secure lodging, and that's where we'll pick up next time, where you guys head in there. And as you open up the door, you just hear echoes of people moving around, clunks of, tavern ales, and you can just start hearing the rumors permeate as you move in there. But congrats on surviving those shadows. They are absolute boogers, and super to have you all with me on this Wednesday as we start building into it. So Fandolin, just for me, like, Fandolin is the job board. It starts out with the job board, me getting you guys to Fandolin, do a little job board, figure out what happens, and then of course you can't like lay it on too thick. You guys will find out where the big thread is versus where the laces are. You know what I mean? Like, you'll see. But you guys have fun?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you guys still with
I
us?
did.
Yes. Nobody leave
I
because we
did.
want to have a big raid.
Yeah, I didn't die. That's a plus.
Who do we want to raid? That's a question.
Let's see.
Did Eldon keyword make the trip?
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's a good question.
he went with Falcon up to Everwinter.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we're going into. Are they still up? We're gonna go into our good friends, the Voctair.
Nice.
When we roll in there, so everybody give them a big cheer, say hey to them. But does anybody have anything big going on before I give final announcements? Skylar, you got anything big going on?
Nothing big except for nothing big going on. So
Okay, I'm just saying if anybody has any
Yeah.
plugs or anything like that. I'd be like
Tomorrow.
yeah, tomorrow. Yep, I'll go in. Yep. Yeah. What do you? Yeah, go for it, Jeremy.
Well, I'm being a castle keeper tomorrow because we're playing Castles and Crusades, and it's all part of Summer of Siege, which is sort of a Troll Lord game initiative to play as much Castles and Crusades, and I think as well as Amazing Adventures, which is also like uses their Siege engine for the summer. So for the next June, July, and August, we're playing Castles and Crusades every other Thursday night here on
Can't
Stronghold
wait.
D&D.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm super excited. I can't tell you how excited I am to play Vagard. He's gonna be sweet. Chad, got anything?
I will be the next 2 Tuesdays. I'll be on Guild Superior, also doing the Castles
Nice.
and Crusades.
Lucky.
Last night was the first session of 3. He's going to be rotating groups out all throughout summer, but yeah, I played last night, and I'll be playing the next 2 weeks as a Dwarven Bard, and Bards in Castles and Crusades are not the same as Bards in
Nope.
they're just
Yeah. I saw the level up for paladins and it looks brutal. Like I was just like, but that's a 1E 2E thing. Like if you're gonna be a paladin, you're in for a slog to level up. So I'm
When
excited
Tim,
about that.
well, if you're playing Castles and Crusades, when Tim dies, you can come and replace him.
That's true. So Brent, what do you got? Jeremy already
I've got
beat you and you started.
nothing. I've got nothing coming up. As soon as Judgy Dam gets all of his gear unpacked in England, we will start kicking those campaigns back up over on Dungeon Mechanics.
Hell yeah, dungeon mechanics. Coco, got anything? So much. All the Coco stuff.
Oh my god. Other than, tomorrow being here again and then being on J Stream Saturday and then Monday we're doing the session 0 for 2 brand new players for next weekend's game. My week next week actually is very slim with the games. I'm surprised it's been a while.
I designed this to be every other Wednesday, Thursday, or whatever, so that I can take a week almost off, and then a hard week, and then like an easy week. Like I figure, I'm hoping that's the technique. And thanks so much, guys, for playing. I really appreciate that. It's tough in these early parts of the campaign trying to get on the tracks. You know what I mean? So without railroading, my whole goal here is to try not to be very railroady. So we got Castles and Crusades tomorrow night. Which is Thursday. Saturday, we're on with Lord Gazumba again. And then DM Pete is salt marshing us on Sunday, which is awesome. Then we begin the cycle. I think it's the last episode of Alien with Under the Floorboards with Darling Creepshow. I think old PBJ is gonna eat it. I'm too nice and happy, and this one seems like it wants to be dark. I'm pretty sure I'm dead. But okay. Can we say goodbye and head 33 dudes into everybody say hi to Voctair and give him some good wishes. It's always a good feeling to get raids. Thanks so much for everybody that raided us as well. Folk and Myth. We got I think Bones came in. We got Jay that came in, and there was another raid that came in at the beginning. Charm. So thank you guys so much for all the big raids.
Cool. Well, we'll see y'all on tomorrow.
Yeah, back on tomorrow. Yeah.
Tomorrow.
All right, see you guys.
Brave don't go past thorn and ash and snow. Maps are burned, but we don't slow.